Wah, 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 it is Saturday night. Bop, 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 bop. And I can't say it. I cannot say that. Universal Translator translates that out as we. Welcome, everyone. Still writing names down. Oh my goodness! Let me get all these names written down. You guys just sit there. No, I'm just kidding. Oh man. Welcome everyone to Saturday Night Star Trek. Oh my goodness, what a wonderful crowd we already have popping in already. Everyone's filing in here. My goodness. I can't even, by the way, my chat is way behind everyone. So I am going to try to get everyone right now. I'm trying to make sure I get all the names, and I'm probably going to miss a few because the thing really jumped on me, as it is often want to do. But in the meantime, I will say hello to, before we say our big shout outs and hellos to everyone else, a big greeting to my wonderful, I should say, first officer, the amazing Commander Raquel Briggs. What's up, number one?
Good evening, Captain. It's a pleasure to be here. I love you so much. I already miss you, and it's only been since, what, Thursday?
That's right. That's right. On the big Clobby's Clubhouse. We had so much fun. Thank you. Thank you all for turning out for that.
Yeah, Clobby's Clubhouse was a blast. Sorry to interrupt.
No, thank you all. Thank you for being there. You and the great Mark D, and of course our wonderful friends who showed up Thursday night. It was so much fun. We thank you all.
Yeah.
And it's great. Look at this crowd.
Yay. I'm so happy everyone's here. I'm seeing all the names file in of all of our friends, all of the people who are a part of this community. It's so exciting and it's so wonderful because everyone is going to be brimming with great ideas and great opinions about these 4 episodes. It's going to be a stellar evening.
Yes.
Scuba Pete.
Oh my goodness. Look at all these amazing folks. I'm writing them down, folks. I'm about ready to start announcing them. In the meantime, what I want while I'm doing that, I'll do show notes in a second. First, I want my wonderful first officer to start out with telling you all, as I always wanted to do, about her amazing literary works. Oh, so go for it.
That is so kind of you. Thank you so much for using your space to promote my work. I'm working on a short story collection, and before I can get it to physical print and get it in a hardbound book, I'm trying to drum up some interest in it. And so I'm selling these individual science fiction short stories and flash fiction on Amazon, and you can buy them for under $1. I think for Americans they're only 74 cents. And I'm looking for support as far as that goes. And if you like Philip K. Dick or Edgar Allan Poe or the Outer Limits, the old Outer Limits or the old Twilight Zone, you'll probably enjoy these stories. If you feel like supporting me, you can just find me under RM Briggs on Amazon, and you can download it onto any device. It's also available through Kindle and Goodreads. And thank you so much for that.
Well, thank you, number one, excuse me, for being here, and thank you all for showing up here tonight. I want to say thank you to I don't know who Mayor McCheese is. I've never seen that name, but it is making me want a quarter pounder with cheese with no onions or mustard. If you could if you could set me up there, if you can hook me up, Mr. Mayor McCheese.
Yeah.
But thank you, Mayor McCheese, for the $1 super chat. My chat jumped. I can't get to those anymore. And the wonderful bionic belly button for that one. Let's see, that one 49 super chat. Bionic, I love you. It's always so great to see you. I really appreciate it.
Hey, gorgeous.
Yes, you are lovely and wonderful, and you're just fantastic, and I really do appreciate you. And I'm still writing the names down because
holy smokes! PJ's here from Orville Nation. I
know. I was about
to
point that out.
Oh my goodness! What a generous super chat that he has sent. I cannot wait to see that. Oh, here it is.
Yes, the other one slipped on me. I'm so sorry about that, Mayor and Bionic. It slipped on me because I had to the chat system. I was trying to keep up with the chat, and it only so much on StreamYards, and I apologize for that. Before we say our good hellos and everything to everyone, though, and to thank you, Orville Nation. It is always an honor to have you drop by, sir.
Yeah.
PJ, it's a pleasure. For that $10 super chat, we thank you so much. Let's see. It says, hey, Raquel and Clobbering, our friend Katie is at the broadcast Emmys as we speak.
Yes.
2 nominations. Now,
Oh.
Katie, would this be?
This is
Katie.
Weather Katie from Orville Nation.
Okay.
And we were all on Power Women Wednesdays together, which was a show that PJ used to host on Orville Nation. So, PJ, thank you so much for letting us know. And just while we have this space and this time that you've allocated for her, I want to say thank you for supporting this channel with your wonderful, generous donation. And then say, oh my goodness, Katie, Weather Katie, we are so proud of you. Great job. You've worked so hard. You're so entertaining and kind and sweet and just fun to be around. You deserve those 2 nominations. And girl, I hope you win. Yeah, you're fabulous. So congratulations. I mean, I think it's terrific just to be nominated. But if you win, that will be the cherry on the cake of it. So congratulations, my sweet friend.
Yes, unfortunately for me, I don't know Katie, but I still send my congratulations to your friend and PJ's friend, Katie. Best of luck. That is a wonderful nomination. 2 nominations. That is outstanding. And a big congrats to you.
Katie is crazy. She's a weather chaser. She chases tornadoes. She does the weather on a local a television station, and she's just great fun to be around. And she has her own YouTube channel, and it was just great company to me in my time on Orville Nation, and a good friend to all of us and to everyone in the fandom. So kicking butt and taking names. Go for it, Katie. We're all behind you.
Absolutely. And PJ, I'm always honored to see you here because that name just that name gives me hope that we're going to get the Orville back one of these days. Every time I see your name there, because I am craving me some return of Orville. Come on, right now, bring it back. I want it right now, man.
Yeah,
I want that 3rd season, buddy. Well, let's say our hellos here to all of our. We like to, for those who may not know, most of you do, but we'd like to interact with you, our good friends in the chat. We love you. We love you for hanging out with us. And when before we get into reviewing the episodes and stuff, we like to say our hellos, and then later we say, we shout you out, we say goodbye, and of course we interact with you during the program while we're reviewing our episodes here on Saturday Night Star Trek. And we just have such a great crowd, a great Star Trek family here. You're all just amazing. And we're going to say our hellos, and then we will get to our reviews. So without further, whatever they call it, hellos to the great Eric. I'm going to say Eric K. Eric, man, dude, big clobbering time. Shout out to you, my friend. I saw your name in there. I know, man, dude, I know you're out there hanging tough. And I love you, brother. And I want everyone to put an E for Eric K in the chat. He is the greatest. He, along with our great buddy, Chris Persia, 2 master wrenches. Great. Hello to you, Chris Persia, by the way, my good brother. But Eric K, dude, we all love you, buddy.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, man, I hope you feel better.
Yes.
We wish you the best, bro.
Yes.
And this is our big clobbering times, Saturday Night Star Trek. Shout out to you, my dear friend.
Thinking of you, sweetheart. And Clobby's right. We do love you. Thank you for your friendship and your company and how you help us with the channel and stuff. You're the best. We love you very much. Get well soon, please.
Yeah, buddy, man. We love you out here, brother. Chris, let's see. Chris Persia, of course, as I said, the great Grinch Canadian. What's up, buddy? It's so great to see you, man.
Happy Thanksgiving, Chris.
Phantom Outsider, my favorite ball buster, because he busts me up, man. He gets it all done. He helps me with everything, and he takes me down when I miss something. All
Evening.
right, brother. Good to see you, buddy. Phantom Outsider. Hungry Boy, my new buddy from down under. Big comics fan. And man, dude, always just so much great input on my comics videos and streams. Hungry Boy and a big lover of old comic book art like myself. So, and an artist, a great artist in his own right. Hungry Boy, thank you for being here. The Felicianos, Raymond and Sandra. Hello, hello, hello.
Hey, good evening, Felicianos.
Oh yeah, the great Scuba Pete is here and makes a good point. We forgot. I'm remiss, but we should say Happy Thanksgiving to all of our wonderful Canadian friends.
Yay, Scuba Pete! I love you.
Scuba.
Tell Leslie I said hello, and thank you very much for the Thanksgiving wishes.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. Thanksgiving, indeed. Snortopoopas, Cuba, but I can't say it as well as you do.
Snortopoopas! Cuber.
Phantom Outsider, but you do keep me on the straight and narrow, brother, because you help me remember stuff all the time, and don't think it's not appreciated, bud. Yep. And I'll tell you another stickler out there that keeps me on my toes. That's the great Lord Thoth, LT brother. Avon lives. Avon lives, and long live the Legion, sir.
Absolutely. And Mrs. LT, if you're listening tonight on the podcast, we're sending our best to you.
I love it when we have beautiful ladies here, and we got a few of them here tonight, including the wonderful, the magnificent Bionic Belly Button.
Yeah, she's gorgeous. She's smart. She's kind. Good friend. Nee.
Yes, and thank you, Bionic, again for that lovely 149 super sticker. I can't highlight it, unfortunately, because it disappeared from my chat. I apologize, but I love you, Bionic. And hey, I'm not letting you off the hook either. You're coming back on to talk to me on one of these Wednesday nights or whenever you get a chance to talk some Trek. Or it doesn't have to be Trek. It could be anything because we love you.
Yeah.
So, let's see. Mayor McCheese, who also gave me a, let's see here. 1 second. I hate it. That's what the clear.
It's okay.
Did I mute properly?
Yes, you did. No, it's just Mayor McCheese says, Bionic Belly Button, what did you make for supper?
Yes, I don't know. Maybe a Royale with cheese. But Mayor McCheese, thank you for the super sticker. And I don't know who you are, but when you bring me my double quarter pounder with cheese, I want no mustard and no pickles. I want pickles. No mustard, no onions. That's right. There we go.
I miss Mayor McCheese. Where have you been all of these years? How dare you disappear? You just dropped right off the radar. Are you Mayor McCheese's secret agent now? Where has Mayor McCheese been? I miss Mayor McCheese.
I think he ran off with the Hamburglar somewhere.
Well, rubble.
Yeah. There you go. Captain James T. Skywalker.
Good evening.
Welcome, sir. Welcome. The great Steve Mitchum, Maddie's daddy, who had to probably doing daddy stuff, but great to see you, brother.
He does. That's Conan in Vegas in Raquel speak. And he is probably attending to his gorgeous daughter, Maddie. Good evening to you both.
Yes, indeed. Let's see here. Enigmatic Drop Bear.
Woohoo!
It is great to see you. Thank you for being here, sir. Always a pleasure. A wonderful contributor. Michael Beacom. Hail. Always great to see you here. Yes. Be seeing you. You are number 6. You are number nothing. Sorry. If I get starting on prisoner quotes, I'm never going to stop. Sorry. Cal L. Buddy.
Good evening.
Always a pleasure. Nirat Anaxamanda Bear. I'm so proud that I know how to say that now. I'm proud of myself for finally learning how to say that tongue twister there. We have some strange individual named Yaworski's Pool, something or other. Watch out for that guy.
Who's that guy?
Oh, that's a dodgy guy there, from what I've heard.
Please follow Yaworski Pool Practice on YouTube.
Absolutely, Yaworski. A big shout out to you. We love you, bud. Another one of our wonderful ladies, Anti-Derivative Jill. We love you, Jill. Hey.
My fellow nerd. I love geeks. I love being surrounded by geeks. Geeks are the best. But when a fellow nerd shows up, it just makes the whole evening that much more special. Good evening, gorgeous. Nice to see you, Anti-Derivative Jill, my fellow nerd. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Yes, folks. By the way, welcome to the only show on YouTube that makes that distinction. I just want to know, and it is because of my wonderful first officer, the only channel that makes the distinction between geek and nerd. Just so you'll know. Yes,
just like the dictionary.
You can only get that at Clobbering Times on YouTube. I'm sorry.
Or the dictionary. You could just look at the dictionary.
Like anyone watching YouTube has time for the dictionary. Dang it, Raquel. Oh, my goodness. The chef is here, Mr. Angel.
Oh, what did you make? What did you make for supper tonight? I would like to know. We have a chef amongst us, if you are not familiar with Mr. Angel, and we usually ask him what he made for dinner, and it's usually something glorious.
Yes, probably not. I'm guessing probably not a quarter pounder. Okay.
No. I'm gonna go ahead and say no. Although, do you remember, was it last week or the week before? He was like, "You guys, I'm a little embarrassed. I didn't cook. I ordered a pizza." Was that last week or the week before? I thought that was
I
so
don't know.
funny.
Love
Even
it, though.
chefs order pizza.
I guess I'm up. I wish I could. I'm going to learn how to do your to imitate you, do an impression of you eventually, Cockney. But that's a tough accent for me, brother. But I do love your accent, and I love our buddy Captain Deckard Spock, aka Cockney. Clobby, you lie. I can't. I was about to try to imitate you, but I can't do it. Clobby, you lie. I make that distinction on my channel every day, thanks to the good professor here explaining that.
Oh,
Okay, I
that's
take it back.
wonderful. That's wonderful.
I take
That
it
is
back, Deckard.
that is so cool. Captain Deckard Spock, I think that that's absolutely wonderful. I mean, it's great to understand the social science behind it, and to not allow all of our different groups to be conflated. We're not all the same. There are distinctions, and so the fact that you're teaching people that is just outstanding. I'm so proud of you. That's terrific. Keep going. Keep
Well
going.
done,
Keep doing
Deckard.
it. Making geeks and nerds knowledgeable and adding that content, that really quality content to it, your channel is just outstanding. I doff my cap to you, sir.
Indeed, indeed. Yes, thank you, Deckard. I'm glad you do that, man. Although it was kind of fun for a while there to think I was the only one. Now it's two of us. We have to keep that message going. Wolfie's here. Wolfie 762.
Ow, ow, ow! Wolfie!
Terrell 72. Hey there. Always just coincidentally mentioned Terrell around the same time we mentioned Captain Deckard Spock. What is that Blade Runner stuff going on there? The Blade Runner people. Yeah. Welcome, Tyrell.
Yeah,
and again, the
evening,
aforementioned.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, indeed. The aforementioned Great Orville Nation. Man, I want that season 3, and I'm holding you personally responsible, PJ. I don't know, I'm just kidding. But thank you for that. Again, thank you again for the Super Jack, PJ. We really appreciate it, sir.
Yeah.
It's great to see you. Another lovely lady is here, Sherry.
Hey, good evening.
I've been seeing Sherry pop up and stuff like that. And Sherry, it is an honor and a pleasure, and we really appreciate you popping in to Saturday Night Star Trek.
You know what's so funny, Sherry, is I have my phone on silent when I'm on the cast, and when I called out your name the last time we were on air, my Siri thought that I had said Siri, not Sherry. And so I had to leave my phone in the kitchen so that if you showed up tonight, my phone wouldn't like turn on and ask me what I wanted. So I think it's pretty cool. Welcome, Sherry. And I can say your name now without my phone going off.
Yes, indeed. Let's see where we at. Okay. Lost my place for a minute. Oh, there we go. Brightest Day popped in. Hey, Zach.
Hey, Zach.
What's up, bud? Good to see you, bro. Mega Cropper, always a pleasure.
Good evening.
Another lovely lady, Janet, from another planet.
Interplanet Janet, she's a galaxy girl.
I love that. And of course, the great Catman, aka Dee Dee Myers. Hello, my friend.
Catman Boo.
And finally, look, P-Cat. Hey, P-Cat.
Hey, P-Cat.
Thanks for popping in. It's always great to see you, my friend. We're up to speed. Anyone else who pops in throughout the rest of the night, we will all definitely take their name down. We'll definitely try to get you a shout out there. Oh, my goodness. This is under the wire there. The great Dad Man walking 55. Dad Man, buddy.
Good evening.
He's just dropping by, but that's okay. It's like, I'm glad you're just dropping by, brother, because I always like to see you, man. It's a pleasure. We love Dad Man here.
We love you too. And thank you so much for popping in and for just supporting the channel and supporting the show. You go and rest. And so good of you to pop in even though you're pooped. Go have a rest and we'll talk to you soon. And tell the whole Dad Man clan that we said hello.
Absolutely. Dad Man, brother, I will hopefully talk to you soon, my friend. Hopefully tomorrow night, Mark D, our good buddy Mark D, who's probably out. I don't know where he is. Maybe he's going to be at Comic-Con at least tomorrow. I'll be on his stream tomorrow night if he's able to stream late.
Oh.
if he's back in time. Anyway, all right, everyone, we're going to get to it. It's time to get to our reviews. This week, 4 more episodes of Star Trek: The Next Generation, season 3.
Yes.
And well, number one, as of course, I'll let you go ahead and set that up as far as the text that we use for reference. Go for it.
Okay, so yeah, around here, we definitely use a text, and that's due to the fact that if you vet the information that's on these user-generated sites, you often find out that Memory Alpha, IMDb, and other sites, including Wikipedia, that's all user-generated stuff. And so unfortunately, what happens is anyone can add to it. And so a lot of times people add information, and then it's repeated so many times that it becomes a part of the fan lore. And it's a factoid. It's not a fact. It's just something that got spread around. So around here, we like to use vetted sources. And so tonight, I will be reading excerpts, certainly not the entire text, but I will be reading excerpts from Star Trek 365, The Next Generation by Paula M. Block and Terry J. Erdman. And of course, this book has been blessed by the great Ronald D. Moore. I chose this book because it is a visual book. It looks a bit like a cinder block or a big brick. And I suppose it should be a table book, but because of these glorious, beautiful, beautiful visuals inside of it. However, I don't recommend that. While I'm on air, I should say to you right now, be warned that the spine on this book is quite weak, and it's a very odd choice. Clubby always says, if they just would have made it like a regular book, people could enjoy it so much easier. So I'll be reading from that, and it has great summaries, and it has beautiful pictures, and all of the information is vetted. Paula M. Block is a prolific writer for Star Trek. She has a very good reputation and relationship with them. So often within her texts, not only are you getting vetted real information, but a lot of times she's revealing stuff that we've never heard of before or we weren't sure of. So she can dispel rumors. She can introduce new stuff to us. So it's quite cool that we read out of this book. And then once we're done reading that little summary, Clubby and I talk about it, and then we do something totally weird, something other people don't do. We throw it over to our chat. Clubby will give you the green light, and then you can put up your rating of the show, how you feel about the show or the episode, any comments you may have, and then we read them on air. And we do that because Clubby and I wanted a show this show to feel like you were going to an old school convention and you were just sitting around with your chums talking about Star Trek. So that's how we handle it around here.
Absolutely. Thank you. Well said as always. Number one now. Number one. So I suppose we should leave orbit then and get on with our reviews. What do you think?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Yes, indeed. So first up tonight is the episode known as The Bonding.
Yes. Those are some interesting looking candles for all the ladies at home. I don't know if you noticed during the episode, but it's an interesting looking table, isn't it?
I didn't have a good picture of it for them to see, but
yes, the ladies at home will know what I mean.
Okay.
It's very,
gotcha.
it's almost pornographic.
Wow.
Yeah, it's quite the sight. Thank goodness they add a little extra light afterwards. You're like, oh, okay, those are candles. Sorry. Anyway. Tonight, our first episode, we do 4 episodes each week from 1966 to 2005. And our first episode tonight of the 4 we're covering is The Bonding, Season 3, Episode 5. We all watched this on October 23rd, 1989. And if you're following along in the block text, and I know many of you are, I know many of you have purchased this book, we are on block or tile number 125. I'm going to read extemporaneously. So,
Ace Cast Iron, by the way, big shout out.
Hello.
Yo, bro. Go ahead.
Yes, LT, that is exactly what I'm talking about. Thank you so much, LT. That is the perfect comment in the chat. Yes, so let's get this done, folks. After Marla Astor, the ship's archaeologist, is killed on an away mission, Captain Picard and Counselor Troy convey the sad news to Astor's young son, Jeremy, who is surprisingly stoic. Not long after, the crew discovers that an energy being from the planet that Astor was exploring has come aboard the ship and is masquerading as Jeremy's mother so the boy will not suffer her loss. A situation that Captain Picard feels will do the boy more harm than good. It wasn't what Ronald D. Moore originally planned to do with his life. He had gone to Cornell on the Navy ROTC scholarship, studied government, and even contemplated becoming a lawyer. But all that fell apart in Moore's senior year when he dropped out of Cornell. So maybe he wasn't cut out to be a lawyer. Maybe what he really wanted to do was earn a living writing. Maybe the place to do it was Hollywood. Contrary to myth, success was not right around the corner, despite the change to the zip code. In fact, it was several years down the road. In the introduction to this book, Moore provides the fascinating details of what led to the sale of his first script, The Bonding. The Bonding was one of the very first scripts purchased by Michael Pillar's newly instituted open submission policy. It was very rough, Pillar recalled in a 2002 interview. But it had a great idea at its core about a kid who created a duplicate of his dead mother on the holodeck. I took the story to Gene Roddenberry, who said this won't work because in the 24th century, children don't mourn the death of their parents. Death is considered a part of life. Roddenberry's increasingly utopian view of the future, particularly edicts that nixed any kind of conflict between the central characters, stymied a lot of writers. But thankfully, Pillar's conversation with the great bird yielded an approach to the story that both pleased Roddenberry and retained much of Moore's core concept. Moore chalks up the entire experience to luck, a lot of luck. I was very fortunate to be in the right place at the right time, he reflects. I normally don't do things like walk onto sets with a script and try and sell it. That was pretty atypical for me. The fact that Michael found it and read it and bought it and then made it was extraordinary. And are some lovely candid shots of filming. And as I turn the page, that is all the block text has to say about the episode, The Bonding. What did you think of the coverage and what did you think of the episode, Clobby?
Interesting stuff about Moore. I did not know any of that. So there you go. I thought this episode was a pretty okay one. I thought it was fairly entertaining. I liked some of the again. I do this a lot. Maybe it's like a broken record. I'll say that I admire the episodes that excel in ideas and good concepts that are very. Anytime they're long, kind of along good Trek lines, even if I don't really love the episode or anything, I'll definitely give it some points. I thought this was a pretty interesting idea. Yes. Handled fairly well. Again, I have nothing really other than maybe too much Wesley, a little bit to say about it, a little bit on heavy on the Wesley side, but it's a true tearjerker, and I do like the concept that alien, instead of being just some, evil alien coming back with sinister means, they really felt for the boy.
Yes.
And stuff. I think this episode has genuine feeling to it, and I do kind of think it was all right. I think it was a decent, entertaining episode with some good ideas. And I thank you, Bionic Belly Button, for the $5 super chat. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you,
Captain
beautiful.
Jesse Kirk came out with a line of women's underwear.
Look at that new avatar. Can you look at that new avatar? You have a new photograph as your avatar. My goodness, woman. Are you Benjamin Button? Are you de-aging? You look fabulous.
Wow.
I love this photograph of you. Bionic Belly Button. You look fab, baby. Right on,
you
Cammy.
look wonderful, beautiful. Yes.
Looking hot, Cammy. You're looking hot, girl.
The product name Shatters Panties and Nuts. Farewell. Hey, D-Bud, what's up, bud? All right, the great
evening.
D-Bud Martin's here. But yes, lovely. Thank you for that so much, Bionic. Appreciate you.
Wolfie. Bionic Belly Button. Look at Wolfie's comment. Bionic Belly Button. Shanties?
Oh, Lord. I'm going to throw a penalty flag on you on that one.
So funny.
Oh, my good. But yeah, I thought it was, I don't have anything really bad to say about it other than, look, I hate Wesley.
Mm-hmm.
But at least, again, when you use Wesley in a story that at least makes some kind of sense, and in this case it does because he's had a similar situation to the kid, it is, along those lines, and he could relate to the kid, and yet he acts like a little weasel about it, which is also annoying. And this time, when he's not saving the ship and they're trying to treat him like just a normal character, he still manages to be annoying with all of his little reluctance to help and all that kind of. You know what, Wesley? You got to pass for almost destroying the ship a couple of times. Little kid needs your help. Shut up, suck it up, and go help him.
Yeah, could we please highlight Ace Cast Iron's comment at 35 minutes past the hour? Could we put that up on the marquee, please? Yes. That's how I feel about this episode as well, Ace.
Yes, he does. And so I thought it was okay. I mean, again, is other than some of the stuff with the alien, the idea on that, I quite honestly don't have a lot really bad, or well, I'm kind of blah on it, to be perfectly honest. And I don't mean it. I'm not trying to sound, glib about it. I thought it was an interesting idea, but certainly not a spectacular or really great episode, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm of the same mind, and I feel much the same way.
Yeah, do you have notes then? Some notes
I don't have too many notes on this episode because it's sort of meh. And as many of you know, I read extemporaneously from the text. I don't memorize it. Certainly don't practice reading it. So sometimes the notes overlap. So I'll have to apologize and let you know now that my first comment in my notes was Ronald D. Moore's first script, and then I wrote welcome with an exclamation point. And then I put Data's conversation with Riker in 10 Forward is beautiful about valuing human life.
Yes.
And I consider this a horror episode. It's got sort of tinges of Halloween. They probably did that on purpose because, of course, this was the Halloween episode. It reminds me a little bit of Psycho. And I'm not the biggest fan of the way that Wesley behaves in this episode.
Yeah.
I think it's bizarre, especially because Wonder Boy,
Wunderkid.
He's normally so exuberant. He's normally so enthusiastic about helping, and here he sort of treats the kid like garbage, and it's sort of uncharacteristic of him. And one thing I don't like about this episode is that people often criticize Gene Roddenberry for saying, "Oh, like that far into the future, children will, not mourn their parents because they'll understand death and they'll learn to grapple with death and stuff." I actually kind of like that, and I'm glad that he corrected this episode because I think without him it could have been quite a bit of a gong show. I like that Gene explored ideas like that people would eventually get to a point where they could deal with death instead of trying to pretend as though death doesn't exist. And that is the coping mechanism of many people, and certainly in our society, right? They try and stave off death by never discussing it. And so yeah, and I really like that the little boy's in shock, but it's too much Wesley for me, and I don't really like the way that Wesley behaves. I find it kind of annoying.
The alien was really the most interesting thing about the episode. Agreed. For me.
Yeah.
I don't even think I necessarily agree that people are going to accept death any better in the future. I don't really buy into that, but at least it's something to be talked about. So I have no problem with having the conversation.
Yeah.
I know because we've seen other instances in Star Trek where people still, like Kirk said, I've never faced death. I cheated death, tricked my way out of death. I know nothing. And I'm not so sure people still will ever be able to deal with it, that kind of loss. Yeah. However, I can see Gene wanting to explore something like that. So I also have no problem exploring that. One thing that an episode like this benefits from is how many unbelievably horrible, terrible episodes came before it, where I could just watch this with man. I mean, I can't get really worked up about it. It's tough to get worked up about a stinging episode that has a few okay things in it when we've gone through 2 seasons of almost pure hell.
Yeah.
With some of these stories. So, but yes, Wussy Crusher is, again, if you want, and there's another thing, at this point in the show, a lot of people are complaining about it, but you're keeping him on the show, even though you shouldn't. So how about write him better?
Yeah.
How about write him better? And you don't. They continually write him annoying. The way he's handled in this episode, the way he acts towards the kid. Look, that kid's what, 12, and he acted far more mature than your 17-year-old genius ass did, Wesley. You little shit.
Yeah, and the whole suck up factor with the self insert is very tiresome. You know, back in season one,
Yeah.
DC Fontana was giving interviews at conventions, making comments at conventions, and in interviews, professional interviews, on record, saying like, yeah, she began referring to it as the Wesley problem. And
Yes.
perhaps there are some new Star Trek fans out there who think that we consider Star Trek pristine to the point where we can't discuss any of its faults. Nothing could be further from the truth. We don't like self inserts. We don't like them in TNG, and we certainly don't like
Right.
them in any of the new material and the new stuff that's being created. Self insert is the height of vanity. It's usually very hammy and campy and totally
Right.
annoying. And yeah, I
Yeah.
don't. Yeah.
Save it
Ew.
for fan fiction.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And now I'm just going to ask Wolfie if he wouldn't mind taking the tarp off of the poop Zamboni.
Okay. Well,
Because,
go ahead. Sorry.
boss man,
Yes.
I'm giving this a C.
I gave it a C minus. So
We're so
yeah.
close.
Yeah, we're always so close. I thought about doing it just to see because I kind of thought the stuff with the alien was fairly interesting. I get it. And again, there are far worse episodes. I'm adding the minus for the unnecessary, crappy way that Wesley was written. Even though I hate him, if you're going to
Yeah.
have him there, at least try to. They should have at this point been trying to change him. But
Mhm.
no, even as good as the third season, as we've all acknowledged, is, they still have Wesley there to kill just about any scene he's in.
And the thing that I don't understand is if at this point you are trying to suck up to Gene, and Gene's no longer in charge of the writing room, and you want to give a little nod to his little self-insert and how wonderful he is. Why would he behave so badly towards this young boy? And this little boy, he's such a great actor. This Gabriel Damon. Gabriel Damon, he has such innocent little eyes, and he looks like a kid who's been in a car accident, and Wesley has no compassion for him whatsoever.
Oh yeah.
And yet Wesley jumps around on the ship like it's the Love Boat, and he's looking for Captain Steubing because he's going to plan a Parcheesi party on the promenade. Like, it's just ridiculous, and it's annoying, and I hate Wesley. And Wesley.
By the way, I forgot to add, this is the kid that played the villain in RoboCop 2. For those who don't remember RoboCop 2. Yeah.
Really?
And he was actually pretty good as the little monster little kid in RoboCop 2. Yeah. I love RoboCop. It's one of the greatest movies ever made, in my opinion. But I actually also like 2. A lot of people don't. I liked it. Frank Miller wrote it. Weird. Anyway, so yeah. If anyone remembers that. So yeah. Okay, well, Thoth's got has got the first review up for the evening. The great Lord Thoth. Avon lives, long live the Legion, brother.
Long live the Legion, LT.
Lord Thoth gives it a C minus. Worf as a mentor was interesting. A fellow soldier looking after family of fallen soldiers. Yeah, by the way, I would also point out a lot of that stuff with them dealing with the loss of a crew member who has a child, and them even talking about how the stuff with Picard questioning kids being on the Enterprise, which all of us have done from time to time, is still the fact that they were dealing with that is a very valid question. Some of that stuff's pretty good. I'll give them. Let's see here. But fallen soldiers, they had no family stirs the heart. Yes, I'm with you there, Thoth. Wesley could have been written better considering his father's death.
Yeah.
And that was the thing. It could be pertinent to this episode because of his father's death, Picard bringing him home, and they just blew it.
Yeah. And he acts terribly. He's terrible to this little kid, and it's just it's awful because it's not even it's not even in keeping with how they're trying to sculpt this character as the Wunderkind.
No, it's not. He's a little snot. Ace Cast Iron, good to see you back, brother. Love you, man. Newly unveiled Galaxy class 1701D. I think he's giving it a D.
He is. That is, for those at home, that is how Ace Cast Iron gives his reviews. He does it through ships and through the different codes of Star Trek. He's wonderful. And if you don't quite understand it, don't worry. Clobby and I will unpack it for you. Thank you so much, Ace.
Indeed. The great, wonderful, lovely bionic belly button gives it a C. I will give it a C. It was interesting to think and put yourself in the boy's position and wonder how far you would be willing to go to be with a lost loved one. Yes, again, a lot of that stuff, the ideas, the concept, a lot of things in the episode work very well. Bionic, again, that's why I'm not being too rough on it, but it's just a lot of the execution and a lot of even decent episodes in this season and beyond are hampered by other elements that they would take stories and they would stretch these stories out in different directions sometimes when they didn't need to be.
Yeah.
Not as tight as the script on the original series often.
Agreed. But I do love this point that Cammie raises. You know, the thing is that it really does put you in that position where you would say to yourself, would I go for the placebo? If I were a 12-year-old child and my parents were both killed and this alien, even if I was cognizant, even if I was aware of the fact that this was not my real mom, would I do it just for the sheer comfort of it, especially when the kid's in shock? I love that you talk about that bionic belly button, because that is one of the more compelling components of this episode that we don't fully explore because we're wasting time on Wesley.
Wasting time, absolutely. Scuba Pete, and they call him Scuba Pete. C+. Wasn't this also titled Spectre of the Mum? Well done, Scuba. I like it. Worf's struggle resolution was the best part of the episode for me.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely understand you there, sir.
Yep.
B- for Mega Cropper. A good Worf episode. Thank you, Mega Cropper. Excuse me. Mr. Angel says, excuse me. C+. I see dead people. Bruce Willis has entered the chat. Ooh. Does he say yippee-ki-yay, mother dead people? Sorry.
Yeah.
Wesley. I am a baby girl in a baby world. The plus for some comedy factor.
Barbie Girl. Are you singing that Barbie Girl song?
Oh, Barbie. Oh, I can't see the R.
Oh, boy. It's Barbie. I think.
Mr. It is Barbie, yes.
Oh.
I know the song now. Thanks for reminding me of that song, Mr. Angel. That's all I needed. Thank you.
We'll all be cursing him tomorrow when we're standing in the shower going, I'm a Barbie girl.
It'll be all.
We're going to throw fruit at you.
I hope you're proud of yourself, Mr. Angel. Sandra Feliciano says, B, Wesley's reluctance is realistic. Mm-hmm. Fair enough. He's a teen facing the pain he knows intimately, but didn't fully deal with. The anger is a stage of grief. Giving Jeremy permission to express it was healthy. Okay. We got a contrary view there. Okay, good. Thank you, Sandra. We appreciate that. Snorta Poopa Scuba C-. There is some sense of continuity when the deaths of Jack Crusher, Tasha Yar are discussed. Yes. And Wesley at least has to discuss dealing with the loss of his father, but he's still a twerp. Yeah, I mean, by the time they finally got him to open up about it, it's just he was being a little kind of I thought he was being a little annoying. Eric K. D+. Roddenberry did not think children would grieve. I guess for parents. What about and the children shall lead in the Friendly Angel? Yes. Mm-hmm. Hail, fire and snow, Friendly Angel. This episode blows.
But Eric raises a good point. It's like I think the more ill Gene became, the more he was sort of grappling with these ideas and didn't quite know how to express himself either.
Indeed. I'll be right there, Snort. Let me get this one from so keep in line here. Captain James T. Skywalker says, C. I often wish we could meet a character like Jeremy in a previous episode or see them in a follow-up. That's a good point. It would add to the reality, but TV production generally does not allow such selections. Yes, and he was too busy being mean to RoboCop and RoboCop 2 also.
And you also have to have a head writer, and you have to retain that head writer, because if you have a head writer and you're
Right.
retaining that head writer does think of things like that. The head writer does turn around and say, "Hey, we have this
Right.
loose end that's super interesting. Let's revisit it. Let's go back and check in." And so I totally agree, but it evidently they're not interested in that. And
No.
that's really sad, because there are a lot of loose ends that the fans found incredibly interesting. And we would have liked to have checked
Right.
in on those ideas later on.
We've talked about that a few times with episodes
Yeah.
already, how they just, that was pretty good when they ever go back to that. Well,
Yeah.
that's, especially in that day and age when it was a little more heard of. Older
Yeah.
television in the 60s, they didn't do it as much. So, yeah, it was a shame.
Yeah.
Snort's number 2 comment is, the episode should have concentrated on how Marla Astor's death affected Jeremy without the intrusive use of alien ghost mommy. Fair enough. Jeremy finally agrees to undergo the the Roostai, with Worf, and is consigned to the memory black hole of episodic television. Well, that is true, yes.
Valid point.
Raymond says, let's see here. We got Raymond here. C, another of the alien entity coming over from the dead to make amends trope. Boo-hoo. Good thing the kid got his senses quickly. Thank you again, Woosley. Wow, I'm trying to find your.
So good, Raymond.
It's one of 2. Trying to find your other one there, Raymond. I see it.
49 minutes past the hour, boss man.
You found it? Why is it after one of his other comments? If you could, because it's not he had one comment before that. So you mean he put something in between his comments?
That's okay. So 2 out of 2, he says, and it was a sad episode. The entity should have taken Wesley instead because he was a weasel. Sorry, fur kids. Worf sure has relationship issues. Good Klingon lore.
Yes.
Yeah, great comments, Raymond.
Yes, true, Raymond. True, buddy. 5 Dumb Outsiders. C, the block text helps. Wes has no human emotions when regarding death because Gene didn't. Jeremy learned well from Worf and returned to Earth and challenged RoboCop. Oh, you always put the 103 at the end there, man. Put it at the beginning next time, buddy, because it's gonna. Listen, I got to find you now. Whoa, I got tons in the middle. I'll get to your next one as soon as I can find it, bro. Phantom, I won't leave you dangling. If I'm closer to the thing now, I'm not gonna miss any chats if I can help it this time. Michael Beacom says C-, missed opportunity. The guest actor was excellent and could have handled a much deeper story. I think he could go on to bother RoboCop. I'm sorry, something about that kid. He was pretty mean in that one. They just don't know what to do with Wesley. I do, and this could have been the ep to flesh him out. Now, that is actually a very good point, Michael Beacom. This could have been an episode, yes, where you if you're going to involve Wesley, like I always say, I hate him, but if you're going to put him in an episode, first of all, it helps if he's not saving the ship. It also might help a little bit if he's not endangering the ship like he did a couple times. And how about if he's just not being annoying? Those 3 things.
Let's just make him normal. Like, can't he just be normal in an episode?
No,
like, Michael Beacom, I love your comment because, Clobby was getting to that at the very beginning of talking about this episode. As much as we all dislike this self-insert, what a grand opportunity for us to actually like the self-insert. Like Clobby said at the top of the review, they missed the opportunity. They missed the boat here to actually endear this kid to us and make us feel sorry for him and make us connect with his pain, and maybe then we'll endure his obnoxiousness. So love the comment, Michael Beacom. It's the same comment Clobby made, and I agree with both of you. It
sure says something when he's been on almost every episode for 2+ years, and we still hate him. And this kid's been in one episode, and we feel more for him in the 20 minutes or whatever he's been on this episode. He's a better character, this kid, because he's just a normal kid, than that annoying Wesley. And we have the wonderful anti-derivative Jill. You're up now. I'm
Well,
beloved.
hello there, my nerdy friend. How are you, anti-derivative Jill? She's got a five-parter tonight, so it's an Esh pick, and
Espic.
she is giving this episode a B. And Jill says, "Ronald D. Moore!" Exclamation point. Finally, we face the issues with the questionable decision to have kids on a starship, and the consequences of grief arise when the child loses a parent to a dangerous mission. 2 of 5, Jill says. This episode asks whether children should be on a starship when they're not old enough to decide if they want to assume the risks, though it should have been asked before making a family ship. Snorted poopus. That's a good one. 3 of 5. Jill says also, I love Data and Riker's discussion where Data figures out that familiarity increases the feeling of absence, which is the only way he can experience a kind of quote unquote grief. Great. I totally agree, Jill. 4 out of 5. Maybe if we felt any loss as keenly as we felt the death of one close to us, human history would be a lot less bloody. Yeah, that's a great quote.
And that very similar to the one that's the exchange between Spock and McCoy and the immunity syndrome.
Yes, it is. 5 out of 5, Jill says the alien was a little tacked on. Yeah, I felt so too, but interesting concept. Why didn't they do something cool with that? Anyways, Jill continues, we don't learn much about her, but at least she isn't malicious. Love the bonding, but I do hope he connects with his aunt and uncle too. Yeah, he has family, right?
Yes, his aunt and uncle, and we'll never know though. Yeah.
Yep. Take a bow, baby. That was a great discussion. Wonderful Esh pick, and I totally agree with your comments. We had all the raw material for something really great there, and we just sort of played with too many ideas and didn't bring them to fruition. But yeah, I loved that conversation in 10 Forward as well.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. Thank you, Jill. Kal-El, C+. A poignant episode that anyone who's lost a parent can relate to. Although Wesley's character was poorly written again, it still dealt with loss admirably overall. That's fair enough. And a great shout out to the great Mark D with a seat, who's made it back. All right, dude. And you're up, number 1. We got the great enigmatic drop bear.
Enigmatic drop bear. I always love your comments because they're always well wrought. We have another Esh pick. We have 1 of 7, and enigmatic drop bear is giving this episode a B. He says, this story explored different perspectives of loss and the role of compassion in resolving and avoiding conflict. The drop bear says, it was a noble attempt at using pathos to elicit compassion for a child's loss and the burden of command. 3 of 7. Unfortunately, the loss aspect was let down by the actor playing Jeremy. He had next to no charisma and a sternness about him that made it difficult to invest in his grief. 4 of 7. Conversely, some of the crew and the Koinonian energy form did a fine job in their respective roles, helped along by strong dialogue and the musical score. 5 of 7. A few criticisms. 1, the question of children being aboard was raised but left unresolved. I totally agree. In fact, Picard made a sound case for it being highly problematic. Agreed. This was a lost opportunity. Totally agreed on all fronts. And 6 of 7, he says, 2, the Troy MacGuffin has a new ability as an early warning system for bombs that are about to go off.
Oh my God.
Right?
No kidding. Oh, wow. Yep.
Oh, you got to go back because we missed 3.
We missed 3?
Yeah, go to 6 of 7 for enigmatic drop bear.
I thought you said you missed 3.
Yeah, it's his third point within this point.
Oh, I'm sorry,
sir.
Sorry.
3, why didn't they move away from the planet after removing the alien the first time? These are good points, enigmatic drop bear. 7 of 7. 4, it seems strange that the Koinonians would need to use a subspace proximity detonator during a terrestrial war. Great comments. I mean, just great comments all the way around. They differ from mine in many ways, but I completely respect them. I totally see where you're coming from. Well wrought commentary. Thank you so much. Drop Bear, dropping the mic on this one.
Mark D, we're still on the Ghost and Mrs. Muir episode. You're fine. Phantom Outsiders Part 2 is Worf should have kept that kid. A true warrior. A way better son than Alexander. The only children that don't mourn parents' death are Triskelions, pre-Kirk, and Borg drone babies.
Okay, so before we go any further than this one, because it's a 2 out of 3, Phantom Outsider, I would just like to say that although you've cracked a joke here, and I love it when you crack a joke, I totally consider that every time I rewatch this episode. So as many of you know, I chronologically rewatch Star Trek 66 to 2005 every single year. I think of that every year. I always think to myself, why didn't Jeremy connect with Alexander? Wouldn't that have been a great way to talk about what the Roshenkos went through with Worf? Do you see what I'm saying? Where you have like these adoptive parents and you have this blended family. It would have been so great if adult Jeremy could have helped Alexander. And so what a missed opportunity there. If only they would have had a head writer to say, hey, do you remember this? Let's do that. Let's do that. So great comments, Phantom Outsider.
Number 3 for Phantom Outsider is that said, Jeremy with glee needs to run Wesley over with the poop Zamboni. Welcome to the Enterprise, Ensign Jeremy Roshenko. Worf was so proud. Yes, I'm with you, partner. Let's see here. Clobby, D.D. Myers, as in the Catman, a.k.a. Hi, Clobby. I give it overall C-. Thought the episode was okay. Fair enough. I'm with you there. We'll see what else we got. Wolfie says, rating C. I tried to forget everything except the Worf moment. Suxley is in rare form and here driving a poop Zamboni right over this poor kid's misfortune. Oh my goodness.
So funny.
Oh, you got Raymond's second one. That's right. There we go. Yep,
yes, I did. Yeah,
you did. Thank you, Raymond. Let's see where we go. Lord Doss said worst Star Trek episode of all time. That does not jibe with your review, sir.
No, I think he's referring to "And the Children Shall Lead."
Oh yeah, okay. Just being clear.
Yeah, that's when he threw that up. He threw that up when we were talking. Hail!
My chat's way back, Thoth, but I knew you weren't really talking about this one because I saw your review, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure we got it. Now, Mark D, if you still want to throw one out there, brother.
Yeah. I don't know if and you were at the New York con. You better have been wearing a GoPro. I was going to wear a GoPro to my con. They canceled my con, so you better have like GoPro coverage, Mark.
Tomorrow he's doing that, I think.
Yay!
Hello there, James Caserta. Welcome. Good to see you. Good to see you. Let's see here. Oh, there we go. We got him. Here we go. All right. Mark D with a C says B+. I really like this episode and can relate to Wesley's anger over his father's needless death. Wesley's aloofness was written to show how he could not deal with his dad's death emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
And to show what a little jackass he is. Just kidding. You didn't say that. I did. Just kidding. Took it out on Jeremy. Also liked the scene with Picard and Wesley saying he no longer blames. Yeah, that was all right, I guess. If Wesley had been well written, the self-insertion might have worked.
Yeah.
The scenes with Worf continued. Let's see. Were brilliant and touching, showing that even a warrior could bond with someone in need of help and support. Next week, will the Ghost and Mrs. Muir appear? Yes. Spoiler alert. P.S. Picard is right. Children should never be on a starship. Yeah, what does God need? A God or children need with the starship? Let's see.
Yeah.
Um, what's that? Clobby missed mine. It was C minus. Yeah, no, I got you. Remember, I didn't miss it, dude. It just takes a long time for me to get caught up with the chat because I have to stop it when the reviews start. So you guys are way ahead of me. Let's see here. Bzz, 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 bzz. All right, I think we got it.
Janet says she can't send in any comments tonight because she's just podcasting and she can only periodically come into the live chat because she's babysitting. Don't worry,
That's
Interplanet
okay.
Janet. We got your back, girl.
Oh, it's
Galaxy girl.
look. Yeah, we just love seeing you here, Janet. It's cool.
Yep.
And we love you. So don't worry about that. Yeah, it's great to see you here. And I hope you are having a wonderful night. I hope everyone's having a wonderful night. Okay, I think we're up to speed. So I got the chat. Now we're going to move on to the next episode, for better or worse, folks. We're moving on to the next one. So if you are ready, number one.
Yeah, well, before we had some phallic issues, and now we've moved to a completely different part of the body. We are on the booby trap.
Taking it into the gutter, number one. Yeah. I'm so ashamed of you.
Well, you know, what can I say? So the booby trap, also known as Jordy doesn't get to touch any boobies.
Well, no real ones anyway.
Yeah, that's true. And poor Jordy.
Poor old Jordy.
Yeah, we open on a date, so it's just so funny because it's booby trap, but there are no boobies. No. Season 3, episode 6. We all watched this on October 30th, 1989. If you are reading along with us in the block text, let's stay copyright compliant. I'll flip the book over and say it again. I'm reading excerpts from Star Trek 365, The Next Generation, written by Paula M. Block. She gets a bit of help from her husband, Terry J. Erdman, and it has been blessed by the great Ronald D. Moore. We are on page or tile or brick, number 126, Booby Trap. Captain Picard is excited when the Enterprise comes across an ancient relic from a long-forgotten war, an old Promethean battle cruiser that has been floating in space, untouched for 1,000 years. The crew soon discovers that the dead Prometheans aboard fell victim to a booby trap set by their enemies, and the booby trap is still active. Say booby one more time, Paula. With only hours to spare before his own comrades meet equally untimely deaths, Chief Engineer Geordi LaForge consults with an interactive facsimile of Dr. Leah Brahms, designer of the Enterprise's engines, to find a way to extricate the ship from the trap. How far we've come? Well, sort of. Back when the original series first aired, interracial relations were a very big deal. The scripted kiss between Kirk and Uhura in Plato's Stepchildren reportedly made NBC program executives so squeamish that they pressured filmmakers to shoot it so that the viewers at home couldn't quite tell whether the couple's lips actually touched. Skip ahead 2 decades to 1989. The specter of black and white relations had lost the potential to shock and inflame the viewing audience. No one thought twice when the casting department hired a white actress to play the brilliant and coincidentally very attractive female engineer who ignites the romantic fantasies of Geordi LaForge in Booby Trap. But they should have. Ironically, the folks in the casting department made a rare mistake. The female engineer identified in the early draft of the script was identified as Navid Daystrom, when the implied descendant of the brilliant scientist Richard Daystrom, memorably played by African-American actor William Marshall in TOS's The Ultimate Computer. Whoops. Well, not everyone associated with Star Trek gets all the subtle continuity references to earlier incarnations. When script coordinator Eric Stilwell suggested that the name change might be in order, the character was rechristened Leah Brahms, a graduate of the Daystrom Institute. Booby Trap offered Captain Picard the rare opportunity to man the Enterprise's helm. Patrick Stewart prepared for the task with a bit of method acting. Drawing on a memory from shooting the series' pilot, he'd seen Brett Spiner crack his knuckles and stretch his fingers at the ops console. So Stewart mimed the same exercise as he sat down at the helm console. It was a little homage to Brent, recalls background player Guy Vardaman, explaining that stewards emulated the action to make it appear that all Starfleet people do this to warm up their fingers. They don't, of course, with the rare exception of Scotty typing in the formula, yes, that is true, for transparent aluminum in Star Trek for The Voyage Home. Stewart's playful hand jive wouldn't appear in this episode, and he no doubt knew it. But that didn't stop him from commenting to Spiner's post scene, "Did you see what I did for you?" And that is all the block text has to say about Booby Trap with no boobies. What did you think of the coverage? And what did you think of the episode Clobby? But before you take it away, before you take the floor, I just want to say, do not give your chat, do not give your reviews until Clobby gives you the green light, until he says, take us out. Hold your reviews. Clobby, what did you think of this coverage, and what did you think of the episode?
Interesting coverage. I did not know about the whole thing with the Daystrom thing. Initially being a Daystrom thing, but I also like that. Yes, I like the fact that they were able just to cast the interracial, relationship there, and it exactly went the way it should. No one cared.
Yes.
No one should care.
Yes, and she's an engineer.
Anyone. Yes, and she's a lovely actress and a good character. Even though she's obviously a holographic version. Sort of an idolized version of that character, which again we talked about in a previous episode how they don't do a lot of follow-up. We do get a good follow-up one later. Mm-hmm. On balance, I think this episode was fairly entertaining. I thought it was okay. I like Geordi. I like when he gets to do a few things. He says he's kind of at this point there are times when some of these characters are portrayed a little bit too clean, a little bit too when they're not completely doing unbelievably stupid things, sometimes they're a little bit too immaculate, and we get a little chink in his armor a little bit. Mm-hmm. It's kind of weird that we're going to get. Well, I'll save that for the next episode. I like Geordi as a character, and I thought this episode was an interesting idea, especially the stuff at the beginning on that. What's the name of that ship? What's that? Oh my goodness. The ship that that the Picard went on board.
Oh,
that they got the info from. I can't remember it now.
Yeah, I can't think of that
but
either.
From that race has been lost like 1,000 years or whatever.
Yeah. I can't think of it right now. Maybe the chat can think of it. I'm too engrossed in the episode. Maybe the chat will give us a hand. Anyway, go ahead.
That's fine.
Keep on talking.
That's fine. Anyway, on balance, I found it to be fairly entertaining episode. Nothing. Again, I think I like it a little bit better than the previous one anyway. So,
mm-hmm.
Yeah, but again, notes.
Yeah, so for this one, I don't have much to say. Susan Gibney, she was a pretty popular actress in 1989. And not a lot of people know this, but she actually auditioned for Troy, Tasha Yar, Janeway, and 7 of 9. And apparently she was
wow.
She was in the final judgment for Janeway and almost got Janeway. The final TNG uniform has arrived. The panel seams are gone, and elastic waistbands have arrived for Stewart, but not Geordi LaForge. So, and they also, for the cosplayers out there, I normally say stuff about the costume design and stuff. Mm-hmm. So, because there was a lot of complaining from Patrick Stewart, they had to change the uniforms. This is the third stage of uniforms. So they're getting rid of those front panels. And you'll see that the material isn't quite as quilted, and you can see that they've moved the shoulder pads all over the place. So now everyone is a lot more bulky in their shoulders, the men. And Patrick Stewart gets the elastic waistband that he so desperately wanted to the point where he complained and got a chiropractor's note. So it's here. I love this exchange. I did not play with toys, Worf says. I was never a boy, Data says. And then Riker's brown nose look that he gives to O'Brien about have none of you ever played a ship in a bottle or did none of you ever make a ship in a bottle? It's a great scene because Riker he gives him the dagger eyes, like, you're such a brown noser, O'Brien. I thought that was a tidy, cool little scene. And a lot of people say that this episode is creepy. They don't like the way that Geordi acts towards Susan Gibney's character, Brahms. But I don't think it's any more creepy than Janeway conjuring up Da Vinci and hanging out with Da Vinci, and having like a full-blown relationship with him. So I actually don't mind this episode. It's not the strongest Star Trek TNG episode, but it's okay. It's all right.
Well,
it's all right.
Well, look, he's flawed. He's a really smart guy who's dealt with a severe handicap all his life. He's not gonna follow that he's great at everything. He's not that great with women. But this situation he didn't expect to have to, to see this physical representation of this person. It's not like he went digging for it. It was there, and he was just trying to find some way to interact with someone to get some ideas. I don't have a problem with it either. It's not that big of a deal. I don't think it was creepy, but maybe that's just me. I thought it was okay that as far as that element of the episode. And it's not like he really thought he'd ever really meet her in real life. And then we all know that later he does. But, and it's fairly interesting. By the way, are you familiar with the famous blooper about that line about the Worf and the toys?
No.
Oh, good Lord. You got to see it.
Really?
Michael Dorn gets the line wrong. You know how he says, I never played with toys, whatever. There's a blooper. I swear I'm not making it up, folks. I'm not trying to be crude. He said, I never played with, and he accidentally says the word boys instead of toys. And everybody busts out laughing.
Michael Dorn. Oh,
it's out there. You can probably find it. I swear. I've seen that blooper. And again, everybody ball busts him for like 5 minutes laughing at him. And again, I'm not going to say it because you could even get in trouble saying that kind of crap now. It may be creepy now, but it was an accident. And it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. Yep. Oops. Oopies. That's why I'm not even comfortable, even though it was just I'm not even comfortable quoting it here. But he said it. It was pretty funny. So.
The chat is horrified.
I swear, go find that.
The chat is completely horrified. Yeah, Bionic just went, oof.
Right. Yeah, that's why I'm not even comfortable quoting it, but I thought I would tell you about it if you could find that blooper. It is hilarious. I'm sorry. It is.
Yeah.
Precisely because it was harmless, just a stupid accident.
Yep.
Yeah, so. Anyway, oh gosh, I knew we'd get a Netflix joke. Good one, Hungry Boy. Wow. Just a total accident on Michael Dorn's part. He's a good guy. So anyway,
poor D.D. Myers. He's like, wow.
I'll find the blooper. I saw it not too long ago. That's been a couple years. So, I think the episode overall is fairly entertaining. I don't have a lot of problems with it. Wait a minute, let me see if I can remember. There's almost no Wesley in this one at all. Very little, right?
Isn't it wonderful?
Yeah, that's pretty good, right? That could be the dumbest episode ever, and then we'll get a point for that. Chris Persia, was it really an accident or was it a Freudian slip? No, I think it was just screwing them because it rhymes. It rhymes. What was the actual line? I never played with boys or something like toys or whatever. See? Like that's how he said it.
Poor Michael Dorn.
Yeah. He laughed again. That was when you could laugh at a joke.
Was he dating Terry Farrell at that time secretly? I believe he was.
Way before the show came on?
Yeah, I think he was dating Terry Farrell by 89, wasn't he? I'd have to check. I don't know. I'd have to check. They kept it really secret, like super. Yeah. They were super secret about their relationship or their alleged relationship.
No, I did not know. I figured this was way before Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, I know, but I've read that they were together. I don't know how they got together. You know what I mean? And then she eventually wound up a part of the Star Trek family permanently. So
it's better. At least she ended up there instead of that terrible Red Dwarf pilot she made.
Yeah.
Oh man. So overall, I find it a fairly entertaining episode. I don't really have that many complaints, and I'll be honest with you. Maybe it's because it's not super memorable outside of Leia Brahms.
Mm-hmm.
She's kind of memorable in the episode. I mean, she's kind of, it's interesting. That's another reason why I don't have a problem with with her. Hello, Mrs. Dad, man. Good to see you there.
Hey.
I guess that's another thing. I think she's kind of a highlight to the episode, to be honest. Him talking to, and there's actually one really cool scene where you see the recreation, the holodeck recreation of them at the with the Enterprise being under construction. I thought that was kind of cool. Kind of a nice scene.
Well, Susan Gibney had that hair, that particular hairstyle, in quite a few things that she has been in that have nothing to do with Star Trek. And I always think it's interesting that Janeway out of the gate had that same hairstyle. So, I mean, when they say that Gibney was in the final of the final for Janeway, you can definitely see that those final choices, even in the final choice, they wanted the echo of Gibney and her glorious hair. And she has such a wonderful stage presence, and I really enjoyed her in the 1980s. She was in a lot of stuff, and just a very, very beautiful, and I would almost use the word dignified woman. And imagine if she would have been Janeway.
I'd have taken it. Hey there, Mr. Dartaster. Good to see you, buddy. Okay. Well, I guess I will ask you for your rating of Booby Trap, and I will give mine. Then I will ask our illustrious chat to give theirs and any comments they may have.
Hold for now. Hold. This episode is neither divine nor disgusting, and so I went ahead and gave it a B-.
Once again, we have the same rating. I figured it was kind of B9. Right? But boom. Yeah, I mean, it's okay. Light on the Wesley. That's always a plus, everyone. So yeah, I give it a B-. It's fairly entertaining. Like I said, I think its best stuff, I think, is some of the interaction. Although I kind of like some of the stuff on that ship, Picard, seeing that old ship and some of that kind of stuff was kind of cool. Mm-hmm. And I kind of like the stuff between Leia and Leah Brahms and Geordi. So I will
Promelians. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Thank you, everyone. I will ask now our wonderful chat. Please give us your rating on Booby Trap and whatever comments you may have. Go. Oh boy, we got the first one again. The first one out the box is the great LT Toth. All right, bro. Boy, that chat jumped on me.
Fire at will. Fire at will.
Fire at will. Please fire at Will Riker. He deserves it. Let's see, Lord D+, except for the historical aspects of the ancient relic ship. It was an awful episode. The trap makes no sense. The male gaze with the hologram is awful. Every time you touch it, it's me. Yeah. I think I'm going to change my review now. Wow, that was pretty good, man. You got me on that one, man.
Oh, I don't know. That's pretty good, eh? It's pretty good. And you just made me say A.
Hey.
That's the first time I've done that on you.
LT does it all the time. I'm going to have to change. I'm going to start changing my review to whatever LT says.
Yeah, we'll just wait for LT.
I'm going to give something an A+ one day, and LT's going to give it like an F, and I'm going to go, well, shit, I'm changing it to F now. I love you, LT. Let's see here. The Catman, aka D.D. Myers. Clobby, one good thing with the episode was that there's no Wesley, or at least I think there's like one little bit of scene, maybe. If I remember correctly, I thought it was better than the previous one. Give it a B-, and thought it was pretty good.
Agreed.
Raymond, I thought it was fairly entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Raymond says B, 4 out of 5 Geordi hormones. The adaptable AI. Now you have holographic blow up dolls. I don't have a problem with that. Raymond, call me a sicko. So look.
It's okay.
Neither
does Quark. I mean, you could go to Quark's, and you might need a hazmat suit. You might need some. Yes. You might need some alcohol spray.
It was way more out of hand on the Voyager when they were falling in love with the stupid things.
Yeah.
And then playing around with luau's and crap. I don't know.
It's true. It's absolutely true. I mean, at Quark's, you're going to have to bring plenty of hand sanitizer and maybe a hazmat suit. But there was a lot of that going on.
Indeed. Just snap your finger and the holodeck creates the perfect personality to aid in crisis. Boom, chicka, wow. Yeah, again, I'm having trouble finding fault with it. I'm kind of okay with it, Raymond. I would live on the holodeck, but that's just me because it's sad that way. Yeah. I will get to your second one as soon as I can find it, Raymond, buddy. Sandra Feliciano says B. Kirk loved the ship. Geordi didn't just love the ship, he loved the ship, and it looks like the ship loved him back, Spurbies. Well, hey, you can't help who you fall in love with, Sandra.
Oh, so funny.
Or what you fall in love with in this case. And they got him Scuba Pete because it 4 to 5 Cocos no-nos. Enjoyed it. Enjoyed it. Had shades of Tholian Web to it.
Okay.
Hollow Dr. Leia was solid. Yes.
Yeah.
I like her.
Gibney's gorgeous.
Indeedishness. Mr. Angel says, hey, Jordy, computer, load holographic Tinder program.
Swipe right.
One of my favorite episodes. The idea of an ancient spaceship and of a dead civilization. Yes, sir. Hollow Lady reminds me of Rachel. Sorry. No, you got me doing it. Rachel from Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Magna Cropper says, hey, Jordy's best episode in Comedy Gold. If I'm not mixing up with Leia's return episode. Oh, yeah, I like that one. Well, we're a long way from that, but I really did like that one. Actually.
That's a gooder.
Yeah.
As the Canadians would say, that's a gooder.
Indeed. Before we got one, and then we'll get to Jill. We'll just do some quickly so we can keep yours constant, and I'll be close to it here. The wonderful, magnificent Bionic Belly Button. I love you, Bionic. See, again, the best part of this episode to me is that I think this may be what influenced the Orville episode Lasting Impression, where Gordon fell in love with the simulation. That was a great one. I love that episode.
And Bionic raises a very good point. You can definitely see a Seth homage. And isn't it glorious? It's just beautiful to watch, isn't it? Seth is, he's doing such a great job with the Orville.
He just needs to hurry up.
Yes.
Jill, go for it, number one.
Hello, nerdy nerd, my fellow nerd. It's so good to see you. Oh, no Esh pick? Jill has... there are only 2.
Oh, my goodness.
She has given this episode a B+, so very close to Clobby and I. And Jill says, I didn't watch this week, but I know this episode well enough to have loved all of the elements regarding the trap and eventual solution. 2 of 2, Jill says, but found that adding the personality of Brahms to be sweet, and I connected with Geordi's social awkwardness. It gives Geordi the ability to relate to Lieutenant Barclay's hollow addiction later. Yeah, and I think that's because, Jill, you and I are INTJs, and so, it's just sometimes those social situations where you're just like, oh, yeah. So I love the comments, Jill. You know I always love your comments. Great comments tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jill. Snorta Poopa says B+. Picard goes full archaeology nerd on us. It seems odd that LaForge has an engineering department but has to resort to a holodeck simulation to work out an engineering issue.
I love that you put a ligature in archaeology. Thank you so much. That is beautiful. I just saw my very first ligature in a stream on YouTube. Snorty Snort, I am sending you chin scritchies. That was marvelous. Raise those paws in the air.
Well, can you tell me later what a ligature is? Because we got to get on to this next one.
Yes, go ahead.
Unless you want to, if you want. It would take a while, probably, right?
Yeah. Don't. Okay. I'll explain it later.
Okay, got you. Say it like the doctor. I'll explain later.
Yes.
I can see why though. Leia Brahms gives good technobabble. Of course, Brahms implying to Joy that she is the ship's engine. Continued. It says 2 of 2, buddy. Now you got me confused. Oh no, it says 2. Okay, well, now I don't know. Well, I'm confused when you don't number them like that. Bad bear. Just kidding. That says 2 of 2. Then it says 3. Never mind. Every time you touch it, it's me. It's priceless, It's priceless in the sort of a creepy, charming way. Yeah, that's fair enough, buddy. I hear you. The great Eric K says a B-. Poor. What happened?
Nothing. I just love Eric. I just skim what he says before you read it, and it's always so good. This is going to be a good one.
Poor Jordy. The only boobies he gets to touch are ones he programs to like him. I wouldn't have a problem with that if it were me, but anyway, I wonder how many times he caressed the engines and did he kick everyone out to make alone time?
Love you, Eric.
Well, maybe we'll never know.
Love it.
Maybe
I love
we'll
you,
never
Eric.
know. We have the great enigmatic drop bear. Go for it, number 1.
All right, we have an Esh pick. It is a 5-parter. An enigmatic drop bear is giving this episode an A-. He says, this one was heavy on technobabble and engineering concepts, which is great for the geeks among us. It was probably a bit dry for the non-geeks, though. 2 of 5. There was a lot of fun to be had. The dichotomy of Geordie and Dr. Leah Brahms and Riker and Minuet, virtual romances, showcasing how love finds a way no matter the personality type. 3 of 5. Geordie and Brahms anthropomorphizing the engine's futuristic anachronisms like the memory coils, tensions between theoretical and applied engineering. 4 or 5, and a number of nostalgic elements like the model of the Constitution class vessel in Brahms's lab. 5 of 5. One minor criticism was that the directing was economical to the point of making the story hard to follow. Okay, interesting feedback. Very cool, very cool. Love your comments as usual. Well wrought, very cool.
Excellent. Thank you. Enigmatic drop bears always, ED. Chris Person said, no, fire at Will Wheaton. That's for sure.
Chris,
you got that right, buddy. Darth Hosser said, I liked it. B+. Thank you, Dark Haster.
Nice.
Bro, appreciate you, buddy. Let's see. Hungry Boy says, I didn't like the way the ep implied Geordie couldn't find a mutual crush with his amazing acumen distinction.
Mm-hmm.
C-. Well, you know, we could all be. I'm a lot like him. I'm definitely awkward around girls. You know, get it? No, sorry. He's awkward around girls. What can I tell you?
Lots of nerds and geeks are awkward around girls,
right?
And some aren't, but many are. So I think it's kind of nice. And yeah.
Yeah, he's just not a ladies' man. He's not like Scotty.
Yeah,
Scotty could, you know, Scotty
could kiss a wee lass.
Yeah, Scotty knew what he was doing. Now he was not only a great engineer, he could have taught you know, Geordie a few things, taking him out to the pub on Rigel 7.
Yeah,
you know,
if they let him comb his own hair, if they made him do that back combing thing, I don't know if he would have made out with as many chicks as his own hairstyle.
No, I'm talking about the real hair, Scotty. You know, and him, McCoy could help them too, because McCoy knows a place where the women are so. Oh, I know the place. Let's go see. Sorry.
Yeah, if I met McCoy in real life, like Dr. McCoy, not DeForest Kelly, because of course he's a very soft-spoken, very gentle man, but McCoy, if I met him somewhere, it would be like a Bon Jovi concert. The women would just be throwing their panties at him. If McCoy were real, women would go nuts for him. And I would definitely pour that man a mint julep.
Yeah, Kirk, McCoy, and Scotty were all Mac Daddies.
Yep.
Bionic belly button. I rate it C. The best part of this episode to me is that I think this may be what influenced the Orville episode. Okay, I thought, did I already do that one? Or you did,
yeah, she just put in the chat. She said, "Sorry, Clobby." She hit enter twice on that. She didn't mean to.
Okay, it did it. It's weird that it does that twice.
Wolfie just said.
That's strange.
Wolfie picking up on Bionic belly button and putting Bionic belly button and I together. He says, "Raquel throwing shanties." Wolfie, ow, ow, ow!
Phantom Outsider. C+. So, did they ever send anyone to clear the trap out? Did they just destroy it?
Mm-hmm.
Did they adapt? Did they adapt that very effective tech that drains power? Don't Borg have power cells? Missed opportunities again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the answers to those questions there, buddy. I'll get to your next one when I can find it, brother. Let's see here. Kal-El says B-. This story clearly shows that Geordie had a holodeck problem before Barclay.
Mm-hmm.
He should have cleared his browser history afterwards. Yes. It was an interesting and fairly entertaining episode overall.
Kal-El, take a bow, sweetheart. Take a bow. That is
There you go.
such a great comment.
Oh, so there we go. Wolfie, 1 of 4. Rating A-. This episode is one of my favorites. Promelian battle cruiser, praline flavored battle what? Ships and bottles, realistic movement through space using thrusters and gravity. Some great sci-fi here in the context of the Trek universe. We get an alien race that was warp capable long before humans were. Seeing the Enterprise being built in space dock was a nice touch. Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. I thought that was pretty good.
Yep.
This is one of those episodes that stands out in terms of music. Okay.
Nice.
All righty. And then let's see. Acetone simulators. Okay. Ass simulators. Whole lot of ass going on. So much better than the booby trap from Roger Rabbit, which I love that movie. So I don't know, man. I'm not sure I'm torn on that one. Michael Beacom says, like watching a mechanic. Oh, gives it an A. I'm sorry, A for Michael Beacom.
Yeah.
Like watching a mechanic adjusting an engine, and it's now firing on all cylinders. Good sci-fi problem. Every character given a moment. Les Wesley and the Enterprise now reveals it loves Geordi. Yeah. The Enterprise loves Geordi. Well said, Michael Beacom. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
That's a very interesting comment. The Enterprise now reveals it loves Geordi, because a lot of folks here tonight were implying that he programmed that amorousness into the Leah Brahms hologram, and Michael Beacom is of course very cleverly implying that it was actually the ship. So very, very interesting. And Michael Beacom, I absolutely love that comment.
Well done, Michael. Zathras here. Hey, Zathras.
Hey, Zathras is here. I don't see you, honey.
Just popped in. He's got a rating, too. We'll get to it in just a sec here. Fed My Side Part 2, Geordi. Getting down with the hologram while ship's in danger. Priorities. Send Wesley out to disassemble the trap. I should have beaten him over there. Tell Geordi, check the personnel file. Gonna be a stalker. Be through. The file. Gonna be a stalker. Be through. And I gotta get you your next one when I can find it, bro. And man, they're always so far apart. Oh, there it is. Okay. Let's see. Be through. Grandpa wants to drive. Really? So the flagship of the Federation has no hotshot pilot.
Yeah.
Where's Paris?
Yeah.
When we need him. No Sulu either, really. Captain's prerogative to destroy the ship. Those cat-like reflexes.
Yeah.
Well, yes. It's true. They never really had
You were on fire.
They never had like a set helmsman like a Sulu or
it's true.
In this case, like Paris or whatever. Zathras says, hey, Zathras loves episode about engineering problems. But at least this Zathras does. The other Zathras not so much. They like other episodes. But this Zathras, for those who talks, Zathras doesn't play with boys either. Zathras needs sleep again, but we'll listen anyway.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
All right. And I don't know why I can't see Zathras on my side of the stupid StreamYard. Good evening, Zathras. It is so good to see you.
Good to see you, Zathras. Let's see. Okay, there we go. I was wondering when we would get to. He always saves it for last, which is good because he's the man. The great Mark D with the C gives us a B. This episode should have been named Geordi's Got No Game, even though he's got a visor that can actually read people's physical signs.
Yeah.
Routine trap for the ship, but fun to see Picard boot Wesley out of the helm to drive.
Yep.
If holograms AI are so useful, why aren't they used more often? Wait, cue the Doctor in Voyager. Yes. Creepy ending line with Leia saying, I'm with you every day, Geordi. Every time you look at this engine, you're looking at me. Every time you touch it, it's me. That was, I guess I could see that, kind of feeling a little creepy, especially for modern times now. Back
Yes.
then, it was just considered a touching moment. But yeah, I know what you're saying. Jordy,
Yes.
stay
The
out of my
people.
Jeffries too. Oh, good Lord.
Yeah, I just think that you have just raised such a great point, Clobby. That at the time, at the
Yeah, at the time it
time,
was pretty innocent.
yeah, it was very innocent
A sweet
and much
line,
in
yeah.
keeping with when Captain Kirk would have his way with a woman and they would, go to the candles flickering or, or we would return from commercial and he was putting his boots on and zipping the zipper up.
Yeah, we
Um,
can lie. Yeah.
yeah, it's quite innocent that there was a sexual tension or that there was some type of romance or physical intimacy there. And yeah, it's very different in our time, and that's quite unfortunate because it did not age well, as the cool kids say.
Raymond, I'm seeing. Did we already get Raymond's?
I don't remember his one of one or one
Yeah,
of two. I mean,
I
but I do like his two of two.
I
His two
think
of
we
two
did.
is pretty
Okay,
funny.
let me get his number one. And I thought we were done. I could have swore we'd already gotten Raymond, so I must have passed him up.
What? Lando Calrissian had a sexual relationship with the Millennium Falcon?
Oh, that's that stupid movie. Solo. Oh, there. See, Narat. I'm sorry, I passed you up, Narat and Max Amanda Bear. I
Hey!
I saw. Oh, I knew Narat was here, but I saw no rating because I didn't know that was when you guys set these ratings up. I need to kind of see it. There's so many chats. When I
Yes.
see something at the beginning of the chat, I think they're giving like a letter or even if it's a number something. But usually, if there's words before it and it's at the end, it's kind. I will miss them sometimes.
Yeah.
So it says a favorite Joy LaForge episode of mine. Let's face it, the hologram was a dime. I can't blame Jordy for having the hots for her 5 out of 5 for holodeck
Ah,
ideas.
lovely.
Thank you.
Love
I
that
almost missed you
review,
there.
Narot.
Yes, thank you, Narat. Okay, I'm trying to find Raymond's number one. Could have swore I had a number one from Raymond earlier, but
Raymond
no, I
just said
didn't.
in the chat that we did read his number one. We just didn't
Oh,
read his number two.
well, okay. Well, see, I forget things. I have a short attention span, Raymond.
Yeah, I
It's
I
bad short term memory.
I don't remember it either.
Okay, now I'll pass it up. I had it.
Yeah,
You see that Raymond's number two?
I'm trying to find it, honey.
Okay,
I'll
if you
get
see
to
it, let
it.
me know. I didn't know there was a number two because it was
Oh,
so
here it
far
is.
between. Go ahead, if you
36
could,
minutes past the
if
hour.
you could take it because I can't find
Yes,
it.
sir. I sure will. Two of two. Raymond Feliciano, RN Feliciano says, spoiler alert.
Oh, there we go.
I think the real Dr. Brahms is not going to like it. Hollow herpes.
Oh man, hey, look who's here!
Spurpies.
Look who's here! JT Kirk.
JT Kirk's here and he has a review. Let me go find it.
Okay,
Go ahead and read it, Clobby. It's at 40 minutes past the hour.
I gotta find it. Let's see. Oh, we're almost there.
So good to see you, JT Kirk. Hope you had a good week.
Oh, there we go. All right. C minus. The ham-fisted reason to get Jordy into a room with a woman who actually liked him is just so darn lame. The future episode where he is revealed to be a creepy simp is way better than the sequel to this episode.
So funny.
No, that's
in a way though,
that's
like
right, Decker. You're right, Decker.
I'm sorry, I gotta say, in a way, like it makes sense to me what Jordy does here in the time in which it happened. So like in 1989, you're
Eric.
thinking to yourself, oh, when Jordy's around a real girl, he's sitting there on the beach with her. He tries to do these the things that he likes. He likes symphony, so he's playing this romantic music, and he's on a beach, and so he's revealing himself to be an incredibly romantic person. He likes romance, right. And it just fails with girls because he's a geek. He's an engineer and a geek. And Eric? So he's not good with women. But then when he gets with the hologram, it's like the hologram understands him and he can take down all of those all of his defenses and he doesn't feel awkward. So I know a lot of people find it creepy, but I just don't. Maybe it's because I grew up around geeks and nerds my whole life. but I know a lot of geeks and nerds that really struggle with this kind of thing, and I don't think they mean to be creepy.
No, I don't think so. We got Eric though. We need
Okay.
to address really quickly because he says not feeling too well and he has to go.
Oh,
And he leaves a, oh dude, you didn't have to do that. Thank you, Eric K, for the super chat, dude. Eric K, we love you and we all wish you the best. Everyone, big E in the chat there for the great Eric K. Um, we love you, man. And go get some rest, and please take care of yourself and
yeah.
feel better, brother.
Yeah, we do love you very much, and I'm very happy that you're tired enough to go to sleep. Go
Please
and
get some
have
rest.
some rest, and check in with us later. We love you very much.
We love you, brother. Thank you. And thank you, Jill, for that 149 super chat. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jill.
Um, let's see. I think we got Alora Carlson. Hello there. Um, just
Good
watched this a
evening.
couple of nights ago. I gave this a 3 out of 5 popcorn buckets. I liked the story, but thought it was too slowly paced. I did like Picard using the asteroid. Well, there you go. Thank you,
Hmm.
Alora Carlson. It's always a pleasure to see you here, my friend. We do appreciate everyone
Yes,
here.
indeed.
Um, okay. Let's. I guess again, great shout out to Eric K. Thank you, everyone. I
Good
think
night,
we've got
Eric.
our reviews. We're about ready to move on to our next episode, folks. Our third of the evening. Let's see here.
Yes,
Um, are you ready, number one?
I am. I am. Let's dig
Okay, go
into
for it.
The Enemy, Season 3, Episode 7. We all watched this on November 6th, 1989. Keeping us copyright compliant, I'm going to be reading excerpts from Star Trek 365, The Next Generation by Paula M. Block. And she gets a bit of help from her husband, Terry J. Erdman, and it has been blessed by Ronald D. Moore. We are on tile 127, The Enemy. Excuse me. After finding the remains of a Romulan vessel on a world plagued by fierce magnetic storms, LaForge is separated from the rest of the away team and captured by an injured Romulan. While the engineer tries to convince the Romulans that the Romulan that they must work together if they wish to survive, Picard engages in some politically charged brinksmanship with Romulan commander Tomalak in the hopes of avoiding war. Paramount calls it Stage 16. The TNG call sheets called it the Cave Set, but to the show's cast and crew, it was called Hell Planet. I hated Hell Planet with a passion, Jonathan Fakes says. It was dirty, it was limiting, it was a horrifying place to work. There was the smell of a tomb about it, Dan Curry comments. People would be wheezing by the end of the day. It kept us on schedule because we could pretend we were on other planets instead of traveling to outside locations, Johnny Fakes adds. So although dreadful, it was convenient. Most importantly, it was available when construction of TNG's set got underway in 1987. We needed a ravine for Encounter at Farpoint, Herman Zimmerman recalls. There was an old swimming pool from a previous movie under the floor of stage 16. Yeah, I knew about this. So I cut a big hole over that area. At the time, we couldn't afford to use fiberglass, so we used tinfoil to line the pool. Zimmerman later expanded this cave set by continuing the rock walls upward from the stage floor level. We cobbled the walls together with every grip platform we could find and sheathed it with lathe and plaster, he says. When Richard James replaced Zimmerman in season 2, he made some changes. I did away with the walls on the stage level because it was my turnaround area for temporary sets, and I needed the room, James says. But we kept the tallest portion standing over in the corner where it was out of the way. Zimmerman's ravine worked fine for the enemy, although the crew hated to shoot down in that pit, James comments. They had no room to set up the camera or anything. Most of the time, we go down there only for a tight shot and then work at the stage level. No one today remembers which early production was responsible for the swimming pool, but Michael Akuta notes years before TNG, the area was featured as a cavern on the surface of the moon in the miniseries Space. I knew about that too from, yeah, anyway. Perhaps that's why the crew found so little breathable air in there. Ha ha, that's not funny. And that is all the block text has to say about the enemy. I'm going to say to the chat, hold your fire. And I'm going to say to my captain, Captain, what did you think of this coverage? And what did you think of the episode, The Enemy?
Well, the coverage is more interesting than the episode. As to the episode. what? Oh, no, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, as has been noted, Julie in the chat, enemy mine, but not as good, not as interesting.
Yes.
Sure, there are a lot worse ones, but that's no excuse. This was just kind of a flat, dull. I mean, this is almost in a sense worse than one that gets your blood going because it's so stupid or bad.
Yeah.
It's just sort of like, this episode was definitely filmed and shown and aired. That's about that you can most I can say about it. It's just not really particularly interesting story. There's nothing really particularly inspiring about it or interesting. Or maybe some of the interplay between Geordi and the Romulan is supposed to be compelling, and it really isn't all that much. It's not a whole lot of. Put it to you like this: I should watch an episode like this if I'm going to review it 5 minutes before we go on the air. Maybe I'll be able to remember a lot of it because I did it on Monday.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, did I watch that? And maybe as well have watched it in 1989, which I did. But, that's about how memorable this episode is to me. I just sort of like, it was, again, I can't even work up any hatred for it. It's just sort of there to me. I mean, I really didn't care much.
I just don't understand why they use John Snyder as Bokra. It doesn't make any sense to me because you have Andrea there. You have Andrea Katsoulas.
I love him.
So why wouldn't you use Andrea? He's there, and he would have made an outstanding Bokra, and the whole episode would have been taken to an entirely new level, because he was there and he's magnificent.
Yeah, he's the best thing in the episode.
Yeah, Katsoulas is an outstanding actor, and for those of you who are in the chat, Andrea is just like Andrew in Greek. So it might be weird for you to hear me call him Andrew, but yeah, Andrew is amazing. He's so good, and they just should have used him for all of these scenes in this cave. Could you imagine the performance? They probably would have won an Emmy if they would have used him instead of John Snyder. It does not make any sense to me at all. And the worst part is that John Snyder is distracting because he's punching up these new forehead ridges and the terrible new Romulan attire where they look like the Michelin Man in a gimp suit for some sort of it looks like a gimp strap that he's wearing, and it's Michelin Man in gimp suit or gimp strap. It doesn't make any sense, but it does. He does remind you of that guy. What's his name? Steven, who plays Spock in The Search for Spock when he's 17 years old on the planet.
Yeah.
And so your mind is circling around that when it should be focusing on Bokra. And I would have used Katsoulas instead, and this would have been over the moon incredible. Probably would have won an Emmy for it.
Mark Lassert, hello there. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, I'm again, John, I'm assuming we're not talking about the same John Schneider from Dukes of Hazzard, are we?
No.
We'll go out on the limb and say no.
Yeah.
Well, Andreas is fantastic. We love him as Jakar. Hell, way before he played Jakar, he played the one-armed man in the Harrison Ford Fugitive film. Great actor, and yes, Tomalak, I guess, is certainly a better character than this guy. But they don't even give you a lot of scenes between Geordi and the Romulan to sink your teeth into because it kept going all over the place with the episode as they often do. It's choppy, and some of that stuff between him is okay, I guess. But between the two of them is okay, and some of the conversation that the great Mark D with the C is putting in the chat there, yes, some of that was fine, but it just wasn't all that compelling because when you set up a story like that, I love the movie Enemy Mine, even though it's kind of a schizophrenic film. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
It's one of my favorite films of all time, despite its flaws. I love Enemy Mine. I've probably watched
I
it
love.
maybe
Yeah.
50 times or more in my life.
Well, you have 2 hours to tell that story. This really, you're only given that part of your story. As far
Yeah.
as the two of them is only given what 10, 20, 15 minutes maybe,
Yep.
or something along those lines. It's not enough time for one thing. Zapper's no reviews yet, man.
Hold your fire.
It holds my chat up, but he doesn't know. He didn't know. But yeah. So anyway, if you got notes, go for it.
Yeah, I just put Andrea.
People are putting reviews in. I got to stop the chat.
Yeah, and then I put ew, Wesley, probe. And then I put Worf's duty and compassion are tested. And then I put the philosophical arguments between Geordi and Bokra are excellent. Not a huge fan of the quote unquote new Romulans. And that's all I have in my notes. It's neither divine nor disgusting, and slightly annoying in how boring it is.
Yep. Right there with you. What is your rating of the enemy? The enema.
The enema gets a D from me.
It's amazing how we got tonight. Everything our rating is exactly the same. I give it a D for dull.
Yeah, it's a D for dumb. And whenever you have Katsulas on like your set, use him as much as possible. And we've had too much Geordi now. Just throw Riker in there. And if you're going to do Enemy Mine, go to the deep end of the pool and make something compelling where you'll win an Emmy. The way that Bokra shakes, the way John Snyder shakes, and just his entire countenance, his visage, even his characteristics, looks way too much like 17-year-old Spock in The Search for Spock. And yeah, it's annoying and makes me annoyed.
Well, so a couple of D's. Zacharias, you jumped it, but we still love you. So because I have to stop the chat anytime a review gets early, folks. But anyway, please go ahead and give your ratings now if you haven't already. Zacharias says, A, my old friend Jakar as Tamalak. He beyond the rim with me. Our parties are legendary, by the way. Zathras is a party animal.
Yeah.
Michael Beacom says, D+, because I just love to have Annette slam me over the head repeatedly with its allegory. Our enemy, Wham, is just wham, like us, wham. Not enough Andreas K. Transporter problems, but no shuttle. Yeah, I always hate that kind of crap too. When you go, Michael, all right, what about a shuttle? At least explain why I can't have a shuttle do the job.
Yeah, and you just hope that it's regular, that it's just normies watching, because normies don't think of stuff like that, but it is a regular thing for Trekkies, and we get super annoyed by it.
Hey, Zathras and Michael, no apologies necessary, my friends. We're all friends. I just hey, it happens. And yeah, when it happens, it's not like it's no problem. I just always remind everyone, don't you worry about that, and we appreciate you being here. So never a problem. Mega Cropper, a B. The Catman, aka D.D. Myers. Clobby, every time I try to watch this one, it would always put me to sleep. Sadly, I couldn't give it a grade because I've never seen it all the way through. But I'll be nice to it and say it's a D+ if I must. That's fair enough, sir.
That's a great review. I love that, D.D. Myers. That's great.
Oh. Sandro Revelaciones C. Wesley saves the day again. I do like. Did he? I can't even remember anything about the episode other than it being boring. I mean, seriously, did he? Did he say this? I guess so, didn't he? Well, it had been a whole 2 episodes since he had, right? So, wanna.
Seriously, he was probing.
I can't remember.
Wesley was probing. Okay. Yeah, it's his idea to send the, I believe it's called the neutrino probe,
right?
So that it would have neutrino emissions and therein saving the day. So Sandra is correct there.
I'd forgotten already. I need to start watching these episodes like right before we come on. See what it says today again. I do like that they never find out why the Romulans were on the planet. Interesting exploration of personal choices and their ramifications. Raymond Feliciano says C minus. C minus. On one side, two enemies willing to work together to get rescued, and the other side, two enemies who would rather die than help each other. I'll find your next one ASAP, brother. Hungry Boy says, I'll be shamelessly Gen X and say I enjoyed this ep because it reminded me of, I knew someone was going to make up the Return of Starbuck on Galactica 1980, the only great episode of that terrible show. I love the original Galactica, but 1980, except for the Starbuck one, of course. I love Starbuck. I mean, a Starbuck and Psy episode about, it wasn't Battlestar Galactica, though, but it was Galactica 1980. But yeah, although they probably packaged them together where you are over there, brother. So that's cool. Anyway. Despite its manifold flaws, but member berries. Gotcha. I do love that episode of Galactica 1980. I must admit, I've watched it a lot. Smorlopooperskuber says D for dull. I didn't say that part. I said that part. Jordy gets to bond with the Romulan over this whole we're about to die moment. Yep. Doesn't Starfleet or the Romulans have any special gear for away teams to use on inhospitable planets? Yeah, they just never wear the damn suits.
Yeah, why don't they wear their suits? And that is a flaw in this episode, and it's quite annoying.
Yeah. Yep. Part 2 for Raymond is, sadly, we see too much of the latter in current events. And come on, Suxley. Suxley saves Geordi's life. Ho hum. This does not detract from the grade. Okay.
Raymond, it's so annoying when Geordi actually sees the neutrino emissions coming from the probe and he's like, Wesley Crusher. It's just like,
yes, I wanted to punch Geordi in the face when he said
that. Like what the
hell? He just automatically just computed. Wesley must have saved my ass. Oh, yeah. Shut up.
Yeah. And he says it like he's in such awe. Wesley Crusher.
Oh God, that makes me want to change my rating to an F. Jill says, "See, I didn't watch it. It's not an S pick, so I'll just read it real quick. Or you can go ahead and read Jill's anyway, just in honor of her."
Okay, no problem. Anti-derivative Jill, my fellow nerd. She's given this episode a C. She says, "I didn't watch it. But I remember it being okay with a classic contrivance where no one analyzes the dangers of the planet before going down to it. Right? Romulans finally play a big role." Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Jill. Number 2 of Snortopoopas is Chief O'Brien gets yelled at by Commander Riker because he can't beam Geordi back. Who's leading the away team in the first place? Rekirk. We used to call him Rekirk. We need a medical donor for a Romulan. Paging Dr. Solar. Dr. Solar. We have a Klingon. Okay, that'll do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole conflict between... See, there's the thing I forgot about that conflict between... that was also really kind of dull. You'd expect more. The whole, Worf Romulan thingy.
Yep.
I forgot about that one. That part of the episode. Somebody reminded me. That's how forgettable this episode is. You would think that would be something I would remember. But, granted, I have a garbage memory, but there's great hostility behind the smile. Thank you, Counselor. Counselor Obvious. On a positive note, we do get Commander Tomalak, played by the wonderful Andreas Katsoulas. Love that guy. Steve Mitchum, A+++, riveting, gripping, a real nail biter. I laughed, I cried. It became a part of me. No punchline.
Are you being facetious, Steve Mitchum?
I know my Steve Mitchum. Ain't nobody knows no Steve Mitchum like me. And I know that, no, I'm sorry. He's having us on. I'm not buying it, buddy.
Yeah, I'm not buying it, honey. I'm not.
He can like it, I guess, but I'm not buying it.
No. Somewhere in Vegas, there's a man laughing.
Enigmatic Drop Bear, go for it, number 1.
Enigmatic Drop Bear. We have an Esh pick. He is giving this episode an A. The story explored different value systems and endeavors to show how differences can be resolved by working together and how parties to a dispute can have very similar characteristics. 2 of 6. Worf and Patak showed Klingon and Romulan intransigence and honor codes were very similar. At the same time, Worf's Klingon values were juxtaposed with those of his crew members. It's true. 3 of 6. I wonder whether Worf, as a Klingon, carries the burden of the lost Romulan life over a small act of mercy. Contrast with Riker's discussion with him about the folly of carrying a grudge. 4 of 6. On the planet, Bokra viewed Geordi as defective, yet had to rely on him to save his life. Their relationship journey from enmity through begrudging acceptance to respect was well done. 5 of 6. Watching this, I did wonder how Geordi and Bokra could understand each other without a universal translator. Yes, maybe the tricorder served this purpose. Yeah, some people say it's like it's in their comm badge, but I don't know.
Must be in the comm badges these days. I don't know.
Yeah, it's supposed to be in the comm
Let's
badge.
have Babelfish.
Yeah, exactly. At 6 of 6, the Enterprise was going to escort Romulans to the neutral zone. So why did they head off in opposite directions? Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what to say about this review you've given, this 6-part review, Enigmatic Drop Bear, because I could take like 15 minutes to talk about each and every single point that you've made, and I totally agree. Like you've raised so many points that are worth lengthy discussion. As usual, you're talking about this episode as if it were a really good text, like an excellent book, and I love it. I absolutely love it.
Indeed.
And I totally respect your review of it, even though it's opposite of mine. I definitely see that those ideas within the episode are incredibly interesting and wonderful things. I just wish that I could see it in the same way, but I totally respect your grade and I absolutely love your review.
Absolutely. Thank you, ED. We appreciate it very much. Mr. Angel D. Well, I saw a Romulan warbird. Sometimes I am easy. Aren't we all? Aren't we all? Plenty of episodes I give a pass to. Phantom Outsider was around. He was a big man. So, D. Let's see. D. Sorry.
Mhm.
The Romulan thought Geordi was defective on meeting him. Then he found out about why he did, what he did last week. Romulans looking down on Geordi from the seat of the poop of Sam Boney.
I love you, Phantom Outsider. Enigmatic Drop Bear, you are not overanalyzing it.
No.
The fact of the matter is that we know that Star Trek is always, especially when Gene Roddenberry was still alive and still, exerting his influence over it, that there were these little cerebral sprinklings, like Gene Roddenberry was the cerebral pepper boy. And so I don't think you're overanalyzing it at all. I just think that you are seeing the potential in the discussion and in the episode, and I love it. And Hungry Boy does too. He says fab commentary, erudite and compelling. So don't worry, honey.
Never change, buddy. Enigmatic Drop Bear, we really appreciate it. We appreciate everybody, whether we agree with them or not.
Yes.
Even though it's true everyone should always agree with me all the time, I can't hold you to it. No, I'm just kidding. We love you whether we agree or not on anything.
And let's be honest, Enigmatic Drop Bear. A lot of the time, you are seeing things that within the episode that I think would have been fully fleshed out and brought to bear on the episode in a compelling and wonderful and beautiful way. If they had more time, or if the episode was done better. And so I guess what I'm trying to say to you is that you're looking for the potential in the episode because you understand Star Trek. And so you're finding those little cerebral sprinklings and saying, wow, that's really great. That's really beautiful. I'm so happy that this is on TV. I'm so happy this is a part of this show. So keep bringing those wonderful comments. I love them.
Indeed, indeed. Number 2 for Phantom Outsider. Why can't we have seen the enemy of Wesley and let the enemy win? Jeremy, where are you when we need you? Indeed, indeed. Wolfie says, rating B. Tomalak is great. I really like Geordi melting the ore to make some climbing tools. Yeah, that was pretty good. That was good.
I almost put that in my notes because I love that moment too.
What in God's name is that floating bed they put the first injured Romulan on? Poop
I know.
Zamboni light. Poop sled. It has a poop sled, a suspicious looking adult pillow on it.
I love how low to the ground it is as well. So you could not perform CPR or administer any type of medications or anything unless you were crawling around on the ground. But it's so low to the ground. It literally looks like one of those carts at Costco where you like
Weird, wild stuff. Yeah. Never let Wesley probe anything, says a hungry boy. Agreed. Hello, D, a mostly forgettable episode that really didn't leave much of an impression. That's kind of me on that one, man. I just didn't get too much out of it. C minus, says Scuba Pete. Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. I wanted to take the 2 metal picks to Jordy LaForge and poke my eyes out. Oh my! Oh, shite.
I'm crying.
Alaric Harrowson says another 3 out of 5 popcorns. I agree that Andreas would have been a good choice for the Romulan lieutenant, but I think the producers were intentionally saving Andreas for a larger role later, probably.
Well, I can let you know, Alaric Harrison, that would not be possible because at this time they were accepting script submissions because they had no scripts. So basically what ended up happening is when season 3 commenced, they had nothing. They had no kitty, no filing cabinet, no stack of scripts. They had nothing. And so, yeah, I'm not quite sure that would ring true. I don't think it would be possible, but it's nice that they turned Tomalak into, a recurring character. But I'm just saying that in an enemy mine type of scenario, I would have loved to have seen Andrea doing that instead of John Snyder.
I just wish the other Duke boy had been there too. Bottle to D with the C sauce. B minus. No harm, no foul in this boring rehash of Enemy Mine. Since it had a few good Geordi scenes, wouldn't Data figure out a way to save him before Wonder Kid? Well, no, because it's all about Wesley. It's called the West Generation. Did you know that? Let's see here.
Mark,
were the shuttlecrafts out of gas? Heavy-handed commentary on the Cold War. Picard, too close. Number 1, brinksmanship is a dangerous game.
Yeah,
there you go. Yeah, there you go, man. I want this wild, weird stuff. Sorry, Steve. Let's see. I think we got them all. I think we're about ready to move on to our final. Oh no, Captain James C. Skywalker got one. I'm checking, still checking, everybody. D, what an amazing episode. It runs the gamut from ho to hum. Well done. Hey, Plata.
Oh my goodness, that's such a great comment. So funny.
Raquel, I'm feeling a little slow this week. Can I hear the 3 words from you that will turn my life around? Do you know those words? I don't know them. Oh,
crap. For you, Zathras.
Thank you, Catman. Let's see. All right, let me make sure I've gotten to the end of the chat. Yeah. Hey, Pat ass, what's up, brother?
Hey, Pat.
All righty, man. What you doing there? Sorry, I'm laying on our tiny street. The 32 houses together. It was cast iron. Oh, you had a big cookout thingy with some pastilla, some fresh off the boat blackened shrimp. Well, I hate shrimp, but I know Raquel will like that. And my mom made some great gumbo tonight, but I would love me some pastilla. Maybe I'll get some of that tomorrow.
Wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a second here, Clobby. Don't go any further just because you don't like sea bugs. You guys, for those of you who do eat sea bugs, fresh off the boat, blackened shrimp and cream cheese sheet cake.
Yeah, it's just another day in New Orleans there, bro.
You're killing me. What are you doing? What are you doing to me, Pat S? And listen, when we get down there for ClobbyCon, you need to take me to my husband and I to all of those wonderful haunts that you know about. I'm very excited. Yeah, Raymond. Thanks, Zathras, for that.
Crab, glorious crab, crappy crab, crabbity crab, crab. So like we're talking about no STDs.
Snorta Poopa says raspberries, poop zamboni, and
Steve,
crap.
Steve Mitchell, you're from here. Wait a minute, Steve Mitchell, you're from Florida, sort of down here. You haven't had pastilla? Oh my God, man! Even I love pastilla, and you know I hate everything. Yeah. I don't know if is the sound counting out for anyone else as it is for Steve? Please let us know. If
let us know.
If you could be so kind to let us know that, please. Pastilla. Oh my God, yes, jambalaya with pasta. My mom made some fantastic gumbo tonight.
Yeah, Phantom Outsider, isn't it amazing? That, yeah. If you DuckDuckGo, don't ever use Google. DuckDuckGo, photographs of it. It's absolutely outstanding. Like, it looks so delicious. I cannot wait to have some when I get down there.
Thanks, Michael Bacon. Thanks everyone for the sound checks. Could just be on your end there, Steve boy. But Steve, yeah, dude, you know how you come down here all the time to get when you come out to get you some seafood. Well, pastilla, well, they can put seafood in it, but not when I'm around because there's going to be trouble when they do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I love it. Really, never heard of it, Steve. Well, we're going to get you some next time you come down there, man. I can see if my brother makes the best pastilla. He makes. Even if he does make it very spicy.
I'm
well padded in this episode. Yeah. You're talking about one of them old Duke boys. Just the good old boys.
Well, that's a great comment, honey.
Never meaning no harm, but it's all good, never saw in trouble. Yep, that would be. They should have had an episode back then where they went back in time to meet the old Duke boys in Hazard County. That'd be great.
Yep.
All right, everyone, who's ready for the final episode of the evening?
Are you ready to pay the price?
And this is the final episode of the evening.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's the
sorry
price
again,
you
Steve.
pay. There's definitely a price going on here.
Yes. Go for it, number one.
Wolfie, would you please do me a favor and take the poop Zamboni out of the idle position? Get ready to engage. Folks, we have arrived at the price. Season 3, episode 8. We all watched this. Sadly, we all watched this on November 13th, 1989. Let's stay copyright compliant. I'm going to be reading excerpts from Star Trek 365, The Next Generation by Paula M. Block and Terry J. Erdman. The book has been blessed by Ronald D. Moore. It's a cool book, beautiful pictures, vetted information. I'm going to be reading extemporaneously from page 128, although it's not really a page because the weird book looks like a cinder block. Let's get it on. The Enterprise plays host to a group of dignitaries who have gathered to negotiate for the rights to an apparently stable wormhole located near the planet Barzan 2. If the initial report from the Barzan probe is accurate, the wormhole could provide an invaluable shortcut to a distant part of the galaxy. But even as an underhanded empath attempts to manipulate the bidders, and some conniving Ferengi threaten to destroy the wormhole, LaForge and Data discover that the passage isn't what everyone thinks. Another hot-button issue during the original series was sex.
Yes, the 60s was a decade of free love and birth control pills and crazy young kids living together without the benefit of holy matrimony. But television censors weren't about to allow audiences to view such things in prime time. Thus, when an ever lustful Captain Kirk made his move on the Femme of the Week, the camera angle would shift from him to her, to kissing to an oil lamp merrily burning away. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. It was a metaphor. Get it? Yes, we all got it. Or they'd go to a commercial mid kiss and come back later to show Kirk sitting on the edge of, yes, sitting on the edge of the bed, zipping up his boots. I was just talking about this. This is a very famous scene because it's the only time that we ever truly know that Kirk had sex with someone. By the late 1980s, however, sex was all over television. Married couples in sitcoms were allowed to sleep together in double beds. Series regulars were allowed to discreetly make love to opposite sex partners, even if they weren't married. So Deanna Troy was free to get it on with the smooth-talking quarter betazoid negotiator she'd met the day before. Not that she was easy, of course. Well, yes, she was. Her suitor still had to do the old hair seduction routine. You're too uptight. It must be your hair. Let's loosen that bun. Oh, that's better. Practiced on screen by on-screen males since time immemorial, sorry. Even the supremely charismatic Khan had to use that old chestnut on Marla McGivers to raise her thermostat, Space Seed. It's very interesting because this person's comments are very much like my own. It's unclear whether Deanna or Raul brought the massage oil to their little party, but they both seem to enjoy the benefits. And that is all the block text has to say about the price we all paid watching this horrible episode.
Oh, boy. All right, folks. I just have one question for you. By folks, I mean assheads who made this episode. What is this? The first season or the second season? Well, I mean, I could take like the past three we've talked about, not that good. I could take a not so good one. I could take a flawed one or even a boring one. I don't know, but really, look, Matt McCoy, God bless him and everything. He's terrible, but this is when we start getting into, hey, you think Wesley is boring and annoying? Hold my beer, says Deanna Troy.
Yeah,
because Troy episodes might even be worse than Wesley episodes. They're close to them usually. This is to a point where I've never really thought she was a very good character at all. I never liked her that much. Hello there, Inferior. And Monkey Jeebus. Thanks for joining us. Great to see you.
Jeebus!
Good to see you. Good to see you both. Usually it's almost never really. The only time a Troy episode is any good is when you get locks on a Troy.
Yes.
It's okay. Unlike Wesley, there are times where she's at least tolerable, and there are many times when she's not.
Mm-hmm.
But this is just one of the worst I've ever seen. That is a Deanna focusing episode. Mr. Tickle Trunk, welcome. Good to see you.
Good evening.
Always a pleasure. This episode is a piece of absolute. Well, it sucks. It's just boring. It's stupid. The only mildly interesting stuff is the wormhole. We don't get again, one of those episodes that's schizophrenic that they'll show you usually two plots. One, the preferred one will be in the background. You go, at least they could have done something with that one. The trash subplot of Troy and what's his face, which kind of dominates the episode, is staggeringly uninteresting. And we don't care. You could have done something. I don't know. You could have done something maybe a little bit with what you had going on with the stable wormhole stuff, which, of course, as we all know, we finally get later with Deep Space Nine, some of the stuff with Data. It's just not good. John, JPR, PH1. Hey. Good to see you.
Nice to see you, John.
Always a pleasure to see you pop in there. So, it just has nothing going for it at all this time.
I totally agree. Like, this should have been completely about the wormhole. We should have had some science in here. They said Snodgrass is here, and Snodgrass is going to be Melinda is going to bring the science and bring the research. Where's the science and research? If she's going to be at the head of the writers, Hurley's gone. We've got Stillwell, and we have no scripts left. Where's the research? Let's talk about the wormholes. Let's talk about that. I have no idea what's going on here, but I will say this. Modern fans think the episode where an engineering geek who's awkward around women, and he's awkward around women because he's like a genius engineer, him finding it difficult to be around women and to say and do the right things, and so finding solace in a hologram, they think that's creepy, but they don't think this is creepy. Oh, my goodness, this is the creepiest episode ever. Creepy.
It's a shame that either one of those actors, and I don't think Matt McCoy's particularly good. By the way, thank you, Mr. Tickle Trunk, for the $2 super stick. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
It's a shame that you got to be embarrassed given the kind of dialogue that guy was given. I'm not saying he was a good actor anyway. I've seen him other stuff. But, man, who is any good with that kind of horrible, idiotic I mean, it was embarrassing. This was it wasn't even General Hospital level. And yes, when I was a kid, my grandmother watched that, and I had to sit there and sit there sometimes to see these stupid daytime soap operas. Apologies to those of you who like those things. Just saying. Yeah. But this is about that level.
Yeah, it's just
really terrible.
It is a dirty diaper fished out of a fetid burning barrel of poopy baby diapers. It's just, I don't understand this episode at all. I find it super creepy, beyond super creepy. They're talking about being in love with one another, and Troy is having sex, and they're massaging one another, and they're going through the book of Kama Sutra together, and they've literally known each other for 15 minutes. I mean, not even a full day passes. Picard says that the next day, Geordi and Data will go through the wormhole to check it out, see what's happening on the other end. Right. So it's literally within hours. And
they're serious about each other,
Yeah, and the Decker unit involving the Decker unit, and now we've got the reverse slutty Imzadi. So now the Delton is going for it, and the Decker unit is going to take a seat next to Rawl.
Oh. Wow, this is first or second season level crap. It really is.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Do you have notes?
I do, boss. I do.
Go for it.
I said this is completely weird, weird and overly abrupt sexual encounter. It's odd and entirely unbelievable. The conversation in Troy's quarters is preposterous. Absolutely inane. It's Khan and McGivers all over again. Only this time it's odd and unbelievable and entirely unsexy.
Right. These two have done.
Yeah, these two have no chemistry. Rawl has all the charm and charisma of a shady used car salesman with a foot fetish. And then later on, the doctor talks about how, the sex is a toe curling. And then we've got the greasy feet. What's going on with Hannah Louise Shearer when she wrote this? She obviously has some type of foot fetish. Anyways.
It's like Clinton Tarantino.
Yeah. Hysterically bad dialogue between Rawl and Troy. They're in love after only a couple of hours. It hasn't even been a single day! ! Underlined, underlined, underlined. Rawl has a crisis of conscience in 24 hours and asks Deanna to run away with him. This is the weirdest episode of TNG up to this date.
You know what was really weird about it also to me? Because again, I hadn't seen it in a long time, so when I'm watching it, it may as well be brand new. When he starts out with all of his little, seduction crap, I honestly thought, he's messing with her mind or control. This is going to be like he's going to be some kind of alien later, screwing around with her mind, and he's trying to control it because the way she's acting, the way he's acting, so weird and awkward and so uncomfortably. Yeah, he's messing with her mind somehow. That's got to be it, right?
Yeah,
that's our thing. Because maybe I thought that when I first saw it in the episode before, way back when it aired. If I even watched it, probably did. I'm like, is he is he exuding some sort of strange influence on her because she's just falling into it like so easily? Yeah, that's got to be it, right? No, it's just stupid, and awkward, garbage, shitty writing.
Yeah, when they're laying in bed together and they're greasing each other's feet
Oh,
and they're bumping
God.
uglies after only knowing each other for like a half an hour, they start talking about how like he starts talking about how like he needed to change his entire life to be with her and that he knew it, that he could feel it, that he sent his call girl home because he knew that this is where his destiny lay.
Hooker with him.
Yeah, he's got a call girl with him, you know, and she's not even worried. Like, okay, spurpies. Yeah, like, you know, go to the decon chamber first because wow, why are you two bumping uglies this quick?
Oh my God.
It's just gross. It's weird and it's creepy. You know, it's not creepy to me as an academic and as somebody who grew up as a nerd who hung around with geeks. What's not creepy to me is Jordy being an introvert genius who has difficulty with women. It's sincere. Right. I don't care if people don't like that. That's true life. That's real life. I have friends like that. You know what's not, you know what is super effing creepy? This episode. It is the creep of the creep.
Ultra creep garbage. I mean, it is really. Keely Chow, roll tide. Good to see you.
Hey, Keely.
It's yes, I'm so with you there. It's so anyone who can find just a guy. Yes, okay. Look, a guy who's awkward with women, maybe getting under the holodeck. Look, I mean, did you ever watch a Danny Kaye, Walter Mitty film? Yeah, he's living fantasies, but at least that's that's not creepy. It's with the holodeck thing. It's just not. It was just kind of there's a charm to it. This has no charm. It's ugly. It's weird. It's just,
and don't get me wrong, bad. Captain. It's okay for Troy to bump uglies with a random stranger. That's her prerogative. But the fact that they start massaging one another and talking about how they're destined to be together and they're both going to leave their careers and run off together, and it's been a half an hour that they, I mean, it's just ridiculous. Bionic Belly Button has to go to bed.
Bionic, we love you. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. Really appreciate you. If you want to put a score in there real quick, we're not asking. We're about to ask for the ratings anyway. If you want to put one in there, you can put one. We're about to ask, but we're about to give our ratings in a second anyway. But we love you, and hey,
thanks,
don't
beautiful.
be a stranger, and let's do a show soon.
Yeah.
Okay. Your rating, as if I had to even ask, of the price you pay for watching this episode.
First, let me tell the chat, hold your fire. The only person who should be putting their rating in should be the great Bionic Belly Button. The rest of you, hold your fire. Captain, this is the stinkerest stink of the stinky. This is an F-. We don't use profanity on the show, at least we try not to, which is why we have the poop Zamboni and the burning barrel of dirty diapers. This is an F-, and it is all that, plus a whole bunch of profanity that I'll say when I mute my mic. This is garbage. It's terrible.
This is an F- for me also, as an F this episode. Yeah, so absolute garbage. Now, my good friends, please, maybe Bionic ran already, I don't know. Please put your rating and any comments you may have about the price you paid for gouging your eyes out while watching this episode.
Can't wait to see what Scuba Pete says.
Where did I miss him?
No, I just know his personality. It's going to be really good.
Oh wow, jumped on me. Hang on, everyone. Okay, I think my first one is. Now, evidently, Lord Thothmay had to run. I didn't get to see him run. It would have been that's a pity because I would love to have said his review of this one.
Yeah,
I don't think you could make a review rating low enough for him. Probably. Can't we? Catman says, "Clobby, I give this one a D-. Extremely boring episode. This one didn't have any good scenes in it, though." And here's the thing, I actually thought some of the stuff with Data and Geordi on the shuttle was a little interesting, at least, what they were doing. It's just that's one of the worst things about it. You have a plot that maybe could have been salvaged out of this mess, but no, we had to see all the stupid, all the stuff that Raquel mentioned. I don't even want to mention. Story was trash, and or dog poop whichever one you want to use. Well, that's entirely up to the individual reviewer there, Catman. Your stories and Raquel, awesome. But thank you so much. Appreciate you, Catman.
Love you, Dee. Thank you.
RN Raven for Lucy. Oh no, part 1 says F. So the first stable wormhole, spoiler alert, not so fast, talk to Bejar. I bet they didn't even reference this episode when they on Deep Space Nine, because these people never think about that stuff. Of course, it wasn't stable. So remember, this wasn't stable. If you survived to the end of this episode, you'll know it turned out not to be a stable wormhole.
Yep.
Which also, by the way, I have a question, everyone. How did this race that was asking everyone to bid on, how do you have property in space like that anyway? And I know it's like their territory, but they couldn't even send probe. They didn't have the technology to go through it themselves. So how do they even know what the hell a wormhole is? How have they made interspatial contact or any of that stuff?
Yep.
That's what I want to know.
Yep.
I was asking that question when I first see, wait a minute, they're saying this race is not technologically advanced anywhere close to like the Federation or the Chrysalans or the Ferengi or whatever. So why are they involved in the first freaking place?
Yep.
Well, we can't explain that, Cam, because they won't. Anyway. Let's see. Talk about like personalities repelling. It's nice to see that Counselor Obvious is not infallible and gets burpees.
It's just bizarre though, because the guy is of such a poor character. The guy has a terrible, like, he's basically a con man. He's a terrible human being, and she's contemplating running away with him, and they're talking about being in love with one another, and it hasn't even been 24 hours. It's so bad. Look, if you want to bump uglies with somebody and you want to do it anonymously and just hit it and quit it, far be it from me to interfere with it. But the whole like thing where they try and turn it into a grand love story, like you're reading a Harlequin novel, dumb
or garbage. Raymond continues. Riker's telling Raul the Counselor Obvious was the best thing to happen to him was epic. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert, we will never see those Ferengi again. Oh, wait, move along, nothing to see. Maybe Voyager runs into them in the Delta Quadrant later.
Yep.
Nope. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it could be. But
anyway,
left them out there. Left those poor little Ferengi over there. The dumbass is good. Hungry Boy says the screenshot with the aliens ring says it all. The script be all about depimping. Politically and physically D-, dumb, and morally decayed. That's a high rating there.
Yep.
Michael Beacom says D-. It's like season 1 pooped up and said, remember me?
Michael. Love
Creepy,
it.
who definitely uses his psionics to influence women into bed. Well, that's what I thought was going on. I thought he was like influencing her in some way, but it's just so badly written that no, she's just a dummy. How can someone own a wormhole? Yeah? And wait, Troy and Crusher in tights. Well, that was all right.
And Michael Beacom, how can he be a quarter betazoid? Or
what the hell is that all about?
That doesn't, like, genes don't work that way. You can have 2 parents and they can have 2 kids and yeah, you can't be a quarter of anything. And it's okay that, regular people say, oh yeah, I'm half this and half that because they haven't done their DNA. But this is supposed to be a science fiction show where they had a genetic genius on board. So I don't know. It's just, the whole thing is just totally annoying.
Indeed. Mr. Angel says C, for one reason. This episode has a follow-up episode with the 2 Ferengi in the Delta Quadrant posing as gods to a primitive society. It does? Would that be Voyager? Or are you kidding? I don't remember that one.
I remember that one.
It was in Voyager?
Yep.
That's why I don't remember it.
Yeah, Mr. Angel is correct.
Okay, well, good. I just mentioned I didn't think they did that. Well, there you go. Mr. Angel, points to you. It doesn't affect this episode, but still, I'm glad that you told me that, because I mean, I watched all of Voyager, but it's Voyager.
Yeah.
Oh, Katie's not here to hear me. I love you, Katie. Sorry. Captain James Skywalker D. Troy sings the Beach Boys. Round, round, get around. I get around. Yet, get around. Yeah, get around. I get around. and get around and I get it. Anyway, Troy Crusher workout, babe. Yeah, well, that was at least okay. Well, maybe not. Raspberry time. Fair enough. And Zathras said, F Matt McCoy, now selling term life insurance to old people. Matt McCoy was in Iron Eagle 2, Electric Boogaloo. Doug, by the way, it took 3 seasons for Jordy to bang the warp core. Was it worth the price? My rating sucks. Zathras, you the man, Zathras.
Love it, love it, love it. So good. I'm actually crying. Just teared up.
D+ for Pat S. He said, I think the one happy takeaway from this episode is that Velour and Crushed Velvet survived well into the 24th century. Let's celebrate with three XL beige track suits for
everyone.
Yes. Dude. Thank you, Pat S. Appreciate it. Sandra Feliciano says, D, if a wormhole suddenly showed up, why do they think it's stable? I still don't understand how a race with almost no spice-faring capabilities get anyway. Yeah. Why do they think it's stable? Good point. Deanna is supposed to be an SF officer, a Starfleet officer, but she can't control herself for a few hours, and an empath, but doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wondered about that. Excuse me. I don't know, Sandra. Nothing in this episode makes any sense. Nothing.
She's right, though. Why couldn't she sense that he was, quote unquote, and I'm saying this with my tongue firmly planted in my cheek, quarter Betazoid.
That made, when he said, like, what? I don't know. Matt McCoy, the only good movies he was ever in was L.A. Confidential. Great movie. Snort a plupus, a Q-bar. Snort, you're a good bear. Snort. T for Troy. Oh, good, a romantic Troy episode. Apparently, Mzadi means he whom I really love, unless the other guy is cute. The Ferengi being trapped on the wrong side of the wormhole is amusing.
It is.
Now I want to try to. I need Mr. Angel or someone. Let me know what episode that is of V'ger, because I call it V'ger as a joke. Sorry, it's a habit of that one. I'd like to watch that one just for the. No, it's not on.
I remember it clearly. They go to that. What's that stupid episode?
Oh, maybe it is coming back to me.
It's like almost like they're trying to make it like it's like a Shakespearean play. It's like a planet caught in in a Shakespearean play. And and the Ferengi portray themselves as gods.
Okay, that's, you know what? Maybe it's starting to come back to me, but it's still
Hey, Canadian Spider-Man's here.
Hey, Canadian Spider-Man.
Oh, you know what that means, right?
Spider-Can. What? Oh, go for it.
These are the Steves I know. 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 Woo!
Woo, yes indeed. Well done. Good to see you there, brother. Kal-El says F this episode, but not for the Ferengi. So, since their behavior and motivations weren't unexpected. Troy is a liability to the ship at this point and should have been relieved of duty at the very least.
Yeah, why doesn't she suffer any consequences? And I love that you're speaking to that, Kal-El, because wouldn't the Federation or Starfleet at least want to get together and really, really study this wormhole, even if it's unstable? So the fact that she has, bumped uglies with this guy and kept his little secret for him, and he's used it to leverage Starfleet and the Federation out of this. I don't know. Like, why didn't she get in trouble? She should have gotten into a lot of trouble, Kal-El. I totally agree.
Absolutely. It's just this episode's garbage. Garbaggio, Mega Cropper. Betazoids are a different species. Could have been better, but the Ferengis is the main story. C+. Thank you, Mega Cropper.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. We get a C- from the great Scuba Pete. This episode was so thong in many ways. Betazoid Booty call. Oh my goodness. Workout leotards throw in the Ferengi oiled feet. Wow. Mike, I don't even know what to say to that one.
It's just, you know what, Scuba Pete? Scuba Pete is a scholar and a poet, and he is hysterical. He needs his own stand-up comedy. I love Scuba Pete. I can
The man,
imagine
Scuba Pete.
Leslie must laugh her butt off 24 hours a day. He is a hysterical person.
Indeedishness. Mr. Angel, 2 of 2. I didn't know you had a second. I'm sorry. The big forehead makers of the makeup division got a raise after this episode. And Captain Decker, dude, well, you don't even watch TNG anymore, just here with the Pamela and Chet. Well, thanks, buddy. We appreciate you, man. Great to see you, buddy. We appreciate you so much. Thanks. Five-time Outsider says D minus, but I have an interesting explanation being 1/4 Betazoid, a master manipulator, and a snake oil salesman. Raul was able to use that to manipulate Troy. Basically, he became faux Decker unit. Let's see here.
Love it when you break up the Decker unit with me, Phantom Outsider. I absolutely love it.
Decker unit. Decker unit. We don't know how much of a telepathic bond they may have shared. If that's the case, they could have become really creepily close really quickly. Remember, you can dream days in minutes. Okay, okie dokie. Well, way to think outside the box, there, brother. And bop. I'm trying to find your. Oh, there's number 3. Oh, man, I hope I can get back to where I need to be in the chat, man. Coming down there to see. Troy is so not in touch with her own feelings. Thanks, Decker unit. This guy could swoop right in. Why do the alien have forehead ridges, dreadlocks, and a bit in their mouth? What were they? I don't even have an opinion on that. Sorry. Wow. Phantom, man, it's way down there. Okay, now I hope I get back to the other ones.
Giddy up.
Going for there. The wormhole will return in Voyager False Prophets. Thank you. The Poop Zamboni was strong in this episode. You can buy them used from Raul. Raul's used Poop Zambonis.
Stand up and take a bow, sir. Stand up and take a bow. Phantom Outsider.
Yes. Now, Raquel, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
For the great. Let me get one more. Let's see. Narada Maximanda Bear says, I give it a D for disastrous. It's still better than the episode of New Trek. Yeah, there's no such thing as New Trek. That's all filth, but I'm totally with you there, Narada and Maximanda Bear. Thank you so much. Now, the great Enigmatic Drop Bear. Go for it.
Enigmatic Drop Bear. We are getting a three-parter here. And Enigmatic Drop Bear is giving this a D+. He says, soppy, disturbing, and saccharine, replete with helpings of soft focus, soppy music, and a very creepy character. Oh my goodness, I totally agree with you. Absolutely. 2 of 3. I bumped it up a little because this episode established some important setups for the future. 1, the galaxy is divided into 4 quadrants. 3 of 3. And then the second part, he says, first Federation expedition into a wormhole. And as we now know, that had a huge implication for the future of Star Trek. 3, the Ferengi as mercantilist madmen hints at gold-pressed latinum. Yeah, it is the mercantile people of the mercantile people.
Indeed, and continue with our wonderful friend Jill, the great anti-derivative Jill.
Yeah, hello, gorgeous. Hello, my nerdy friend. We're just getting a 4-parter here, so not a full ish pick. She's going to go ahead. She's going to give it a D-, and she says, I didn't watch this one either, but I recall not liking it much, especially since by the end of the wormhole turns out to be a political ruse and a waste of everyone's time.
And what she means, folks, is she didn't watch it recently, but she's seen it before.
Yes.
She knows the track.
Yeah, instead of showing us how they have bonded, they tried to convince us they're in love. Yes! With no credence given to make that believable. Yes!
Absolutely. Oh, there we go.
3 of 4. Well, we finally get
Oops.
another part Beta Z character. He is portrayed as very creepy, and is indicated using the same powers Troy does. Yeah. 4 is wrong only because he uses them for self-gain. I do like how these Ferengi in this episode will appear in the franchise later. It's true.
Yes, understandable.
Yeah, and I totally agree. I think that's why people just scoff at this episode, and they feel like they feel dirty, like they want to have a shower after this episode. It's not because they weren't just bumping and grinding, hitting it and quitting it, swiping left and swiping right. It was just the fact that they were trying to claim like some sort of undying love between the two of them, like they were, and the crisis of conscience that Rawl has at the end, where he's like, maybe I do need to completely change who I am. It's ridiculous. It hasn't even been 24 hours. Get out of here. Get out. Just leave. Take your shadow and be gone. Get out.
Alara Caroson says a 0 out of 5 popcorn. Transparent characters and plot. The comedic Ferengi were lightly entertaining. I usually run my noisy vacuum cleaner during this episode. By the way, the Ferengi reappear in Voyager.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that. Of course, again, Katie, are you here? Okay, good. It's Voyager. I forget some stuff. I love you, Katie, in case you are hearing this. I love you, and I like some Voyager. Hungry Boy says this episode was the equivalent of a 1989 Two Live Crew song, D-.
Yep.
I'm whatever. If that's an insult, I'm with you, because I don't like that kind of filthy noise anyway either.
Yep.
Monica D with this, he says D-. We paid a price watching this episode, having to view greased up toe curling feet and listening to cringeworthy Spurpy's dialogue. I wish people would stop mentioning the damn feet. It's giving me nightmares.
I just love it.
I mean, it's Quentin Tarantino might like it, but yeah.
Oh, it's so funny.
You'd think that Troy would have more sense to see how fraudulent and creepy Raul acts. Redeeming part of the episode was that the Ferengi were better written, and they got stuck in the Delta Quadrant. Yes. Yeah, it seems to be the consensus that the Voyager episode is the best thing to come out of this episode. When a Voyager episode is better than a TNG episode, that's saying something.
Captain, where did Steve Mitchum's review go? He had a hysterical review for this episode. It was really funny, and I just skimmed it, and then it just flew by. Did he delete it? Because it was funny.
I got it.
Oh, here it is. This is so good. I love
Steve Mitchum, or someone who has hacked him apparently and taken over his identity here. A+++, an erotic masterpiece, a love story for the ages. Tonight on a very special Star Trek: The Next Generation, seething, hot, steamy love between telepaths. The on-screen chemistry is palpable. See it twice with someone you loved once.
Okay, so like how there's that meme that is going around, and I don't mean meme like as in like memes through social media. I mean like in the Noam Chomsky sense, like the memes. There's like this meme where people say, if ever I want to show people that I'm being held hostage or whatever, what message would I put up on Twitter or Facebook? It's so funny because that sounds like Steve Mitchum's cry for help, that he's being held against his will somewhere. He gives this episode A+++. I just love it, Steve. So much. It's so funny.
Mr. Tickle Trunk says F this episode. I mean, equal. Oh, sorry. F sign. F equal or F. Minus. If you don't think this belongs in season 1, I have a stable wormhole to sell you. It was so season 1-y, wasn't it? This was season 1 or 2-y. Take your pick.
That was so good. Ba-dum-bum.
Yes, it's amazing the ideas from the B plot went on to create a better episode later, i.e. stable wormhole, Delta Quadrant shenanigans. The poop Zamboni ran over someone's lubed up foot to make matters worse. Mr. Moosebuckle Fingers is trying to change the dysentery envelope we call a diaper. Wow, dude.
Wolfie, I love you. Oh, so
Wow.
funny.
Wow. Fathom Outsider has an addendum apparently. Going for the wormhole. Or did I do this one already? Yeah, I think I. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I'm sorry. It's so far down. I already forgot. Oh, number 3 for Oh, forgot my rating. D- for Wolfie. Gotcha, brother.
That's okay. Yeah, you gave such a good review. It doesn't matter. And our resident chef says, Raquel, False Prophets, Voyager, season 3, ep 5
Yes.
is the episode you
Okay.
are looking for.
Okay.
Yep. Thank you,
Thank
chef.
Let's see here. Think we got everybody. We may be done with our reviews and ratings, folks. Let me just make sure. I do believe we are. Let's see here. Oh,
So funny.
maybe we should review that episode instead of this one. The False Prophets. We will one day.
We will. We're going to get to
Yeah,
it.
we'll get to it.
Around here, we are doing 1966 to 2005. Well, technically 1964 to 2005,
Whole
because
shoot
that
match.
is the only Star Trek.
We
There
are
is
doing
no
the
other Star Trek.
Only real Trek is 66 through 05.
Mhm.
Well, it looks like, folks, we've covered these scintillating episodes of for this evening. All these I'm making sure now. Let's making sure. Gotta catch my chat up here, folks.
Enigmatic drop bear. I was thinking the same thing. It's just so funny. Mr. Moose Knuckle Fingers. I
there
know
we go.
my face is red as well. Enigmatic drop bear. I totally agree.
Wow, there you go. Well, we did it, folks. We got through 4 more. We got through 4 more in almost record time, I would say.
Yep.
Wow. Well, all we can do is just come back and do it all over again next week. What a great, fantastic crowd. And anyone out there who is listening or watching, and even if you're not in the chat or not, we just appreciate you all as well. The ones who are maybe seeing later on a download, or people out there, whoever's here, whoever's ever listening or watching. We really appreciate you so much. And it's great to see you all here tonight. It's amazing, and it was a lot of fun. What we got? Whatever.
I'm sorry. Mr. Tickle Trunk, he says, Clobby, after this episode, don't forget to hose down the chat before the stream is done.
Yes. Yep. It's going to take us a while to say all our goodbyes, Sherry. But Sherry, look at that beautiful lady there. It's lovely to see you. We thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. We appreciate you, and appreciate everyone being here. We're going to do a couple of show notes, then we'll do our goodbyes, and we'll get moving. First of all, let's get all this junk off the screen here. Bump. There we go.
The comments in the chat are so good and so funny. And Scuba Pete would like you all to pump out a little bit of hand sanny. Just love it.
Yes, indeed. Let's see here. So before we get out of here, folks, I'm going to get, first of all, I want Raquel to tell us about her wonderful works that she is offering that are for her short stories. Then I'll do show notes. Then we'll say our epic goodbyes. And just as we say epic hellos, we say epic goodbyes and shout outs to everyone.
Oh, well,
go for it.
Thank you so much for offering this space to all of us to talk about Star Trek. That's the first thing I want to say. I love you so much, Clobby. I love spending time with you. You're just a brilliant and wonderful person. And yeah, I adore you. I want to thank the Wrenches, and I want to thank the chat. You guys were outstanding tonight. Just so funny and just such great company and just wonderful people to be around. I write science fiction, and I'm putting together a short story collection of short story and flash fiction. And before I'm able to get that together, I'm trying to drum up some buzz for those stories. So you can buy them on Amazon. Once again, they're science fiction, short story, and flash fiction. And if you like Philip K. Dick, if you like the original Outer Limits, if you like H.G. Wells and things like Edgar Allan Poe, you probably like my stories. And for Americans, I think they're only 74 cents each. So definitely not doing it for the money. But if you would support my work and read my work, and if you like it, leave a positive comment for me on Amazon, I would greatly appreciate it. So all you have to do is go on Amazon and look up RM Briggs, and you can download it onto any device. You can also find my work on Kindle and on Goodreads.
Thank you so much. Number one. Well, look at making sure. Everyone, I really appreciate you all being here tonight. Line number one is amazing. Please go check out her wonderful works and quick show notes here. Monday night. Excuse me. Sorry, hang on a second. I hope that works. I never know if it's working right. Monday night. On Monday night, Mark C. Comics Talk. Any comics fans out there, we're going to be. We always talk comics on Monday nights, just as we talk Star Trek on Saturday nights. I'm going to cover some comics history, as I always like to do. Daredevil, the pre-Miller years. I know that's kind of abstract, I guess, for most people. But some of you longtime comics fans will know what that means. We're going to cover Daredevil before Frank Miller turned into a big old sourpuss. I love the Miller run. I joke, I kid, but he did make it very dark.
And I'm just want to interrupt my captain to say this. For those in the chat who aren't familiar with the pre-Miller years and the post-Miller years and stuff, there will be a lot of upper level geeky stuff being discussed, but don't ever think that Clubby doesn't make it totally accessible. So if you'd like to learn about the pre-Miller Miller years and stuff like that, Clubby is super professional, and he offers such good coverage that you learn a boatload from him. So although it sounds highly specialized and super geeky, and it is, it's also really accessible for people who are just learning about comics or want to learn about comics. Clubby is wonderful at teaching people about comics. He taught me about Gold Key comics, and I just absolutely love them. So don't be shy and think that this is rarefied air where you're not welcome or you don't know enough to be there. Clubby has everyone from 1 to 100. He's got you covered, and he will make these shows so interesting and fun and just so cool. So I hope you will consider that. If you don't know, he'll show you, and you'll have a heck of a good time learning. Sorry, Captain.
Well, that's okay. Well, thank you so much. Let's see. I'll do something Wednesday night. Wednesday night, it'll probably just be open geek talking. And Thursday, the Global Geek Gang will gather. Thursday, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, as always, almost always anyway, when we can make it. And then, again, like I said, Wednesday night, there'll be that. And then Clobby's Clubhouse. We're having a lot of fun with that, with the great Mark D with the C and my wonderful first officer, Raquel, hanging out, the three of us, talking to you. That's Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we have a blast doing that. And I want to thank you all who have been showing up for that. It's just great fun. And of course, please check out, if you're a comics fan, my Clobby's Comics Corner Spinner Rack Time Machine videos. And again, that's all. Let's get our goodbyes in order here, so we can let everyone run. Even though we'd keep you here all night if we could, because we love hanging out with you.
Yeah.
Let's see here. But even if they had to leave already, you still get the shout out. So I got them all written down. Let's see. Let's gotta find them. Okay. Found them, Outsider. Thank you, buddy.
You were terrific. Good night, and have a great weekend.
Yes, appreciate you, bro. The great Chris Persia.
Kalinita Efharisto.
Always a pleasure. By the way, Eric K had to run. He's not feeling well, everyone. So everyone, please put an E in the chat for our wonderful buddy, the great Eric K. We're thinking about you, brother. I don't know if you're still listening, but we love you, man.
Feel better, baby.
Yeah, you're the man, and I hope you're hearing this. And we're always rooting for you, buddy. The great Mark D with the C said he had to run. He is, of course, thanks to his and the channels of many other wonderful YouTubers out there that are good friends of mine, good friends of the show. And the great Mark D with the C. Mark D, you can if you still got it, you can put your link in there. Please go to his channel as well. Sunday nights, late at night, 10 p.m. I think around 10 Central or 10 Eastern. I can't remember, but you can check on his page. He does a fun show where just a few of us hang out there and we just kind of chill out. It's a chill stream, as the kids say. We geek out about nothing in particular, whatever comes to mind. And if you like just hanging out with a bunch of fun geeks, please come see us over there. That's the great Mark D with a C, who is going to he's going to Comic-Con in New York tomorrow. So we should have all kind of fun stuff to tell us.
Yay! Better have a GoPro on your head, Mark D with a
Great
C.
friend of the show. Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, Hungry Boy, my good friend and the comics fan and great comics artist extraordinary.
Good
Always
night.
great to see you. RN Feliciano and Raymond and Sandra, the Felicianos.
Good night, Felicianos.
Love you both. Thank you so much for being here.
Yes.
Snorta Poopus Cuber.
Cuber.
She had to leave, but we still give it a shout out because we love the wonderful bionic belly button. Beautiful lady. I don't know who Mayor McCheese was, but Mayor McCheese popped in for a while, and we didn't get a quarter pounder, but we did get a lovely super chat from that person. So thank you. It was always nice to meet new people.
Yes.
But where are we at? Captain James T. Skywalker, my friend, thank you as always. The extraordinary enigmatic drop bear. I think LT had to run, but LT, thank you so much.
Good night.
Oh, let's see. McCheese is Matt G. Well, okay. Matt G. Cool.
Yeah, do you know that I just muted my mic? I might not be able to do Snorta Poopus Cuber anymore.
I don't know. I'm hearing you're coming out very fuzzy. Is anyone hearing thank you, enigmatic drop bear. Appreciate it. Is anyone hearing Raquel? Okay, you're coming out very fuzzy to me, but maybe not to everyone else. So someone may love.
I don't think
they're calling you Robo Raquel.
Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. And
maybe you can
also,
jump back out and jump back in. It's fuzzy, yes.
Yeah, and it's making me louder than I'm supposed to be, which is kind of weird. I don't
What if you jump out and jump back in? Maybe
I'm going to do that right now.
Okay. She'll jump back in, folks. In the meantime, yes, Lord Thoth, I think, had to leave, but Avon lives and long live the Legion to him, of course. Let's see now. Let's see if we can add her back. Hey, what about now?
Hi.
There you go.
Yeah, see?
I did it. I don't know what it was. It was weird. It was like a buzzy robot thingy. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think
happens.
StreamYard likes it because StreamYard automatically tries to equalize the sound. So when I do Snorta Poopus Cuber, I usually turn my mic way down so it's not too loud. And StreamYard has just been turning the volume up to equalize it, right?
Well.
So that I'm at the same volume as you. So I might not be able to do Snorta Poopus Cuber anymore.
You can do it without turning it down. No, Liv.
Yeah.
Michael Beacom, thank you so much for being here, my friend. Always a pleasure. We really appreciate you.
Good night.
Cal L48, buddy.
Good night.
Thank you. Narad and Axamanda Bear, thank you so much.
Good night, Narad.
Yawarski's Pool. I didn't write the whole thing down. What's he called again?
Yaworski Pool Practice.
Pool Practice.
On YouTube.
Pool Practice on YouTube, everyone, by the way. And there's a link to his of course, amazing channel in my description below, folks, by the way. And he is he is a wonderful gentleman, but we can't tell you who he is. He has a secret identity. The wonderful anti-derivative Jill.
Yay.
Thank you so much, Jill.
Love you. Thank you.
Chef, Mr. Angel.
Good night, Chef.
Thank you so much for being here, sir. Wolfie 762.
Good night, Wolfie. Ow, ow, ow!
And they call him Scuba Pete.
Scuba Pete!
Always good to see you, brother. Tyrell 72 was here. Yes, indeed.
Good night,
I don't know if he's still here, but the great PJ from the extraordinary Orville Nation. Thank you for that super chat, by the way. PJ, thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate you. Again, I don't know if she's still here, but Sherry, our new friend Sherry, popped in. Sherry, lovely lady, thank you. It's always a pleasure having you pop in there. Thank you so much. Brightest Day popped in for our buddy Zach, popped in for a while there. You never know if they're still here, but I like to shout them out anyway. Let's see here. Oh, I have to cough all the time. Captain Deckard Spock, aka the Great Cockney. Brother, always a pleasure to see you pop in, man. And yes,
Yeah.
I mean it. One of these days on the Global Geek Gang, if it's global enough for you, dude, you are invited. You have an invite, buddy.
Yeah.
Like to have you on there.
Yeah.
Mega Cropper.
Have a
Thank
good
you so
weekend.
much. Appreciate you. The great Steve Mitchum. Yo, brother.
Good night.
The lovely Janet from another planet. I think she might still be out there somewhere. Janet, we love you. Thank
Yeah.
you. The Catman, aka Dee Dee Myers. Good to see you, bud.
Good
Thank
night.
you so much. Always a pleasure, buddy. Let's see here. Sorry, everyone. You haven't
okay.
used the throat clear button. I hope it works. It doesn't mute, right? It does work.
Yes, it
You
does.
never
It
know.
does
You never know if you can trust these things.
mute.
Pete Cat, thank you. Mr. and Mrs. Dad Man Walking.
Good night,
We're
Dad
both
Man
here.
Clan.
Great friends of the show. We love those people as well. Like one of the greatest human beings that I've ever known, one of my all-time greatest friends in the entire world for many, many decades. The great Ace Cast Iron was here. And I love when he pops in. Brother, I don't know if you're still there, but I love
That
you,
was
man.
great.
Great to see you.
Yeah.
D. Bud Martin, the man of iron.
Good night, D-Bud.
Great to see you, buddy. James Caserta popped in. Thank you, James.
Good night.
Let's see here. We're almost there, folks. Let's see here. Darth Haster, buddy. Thank you for popping in, man.
Good night. Thank you.
Zathras, we love you, bro. Good to see you.
Yeah, you were terrific.
JT Kirk popped in, our good buddy.
Good night, JT.
Alaric Harrison, thank you.
Good night.
Mark Lerseth, thank you for popping in.
Yep.
My great pal, the great Pat S. Always a pleasure, bro. I want some pasta lie, man. I'll have to get some myself tomorrow.
I want some of that blackened shrimp.
I got a lot of that gumbo my mom made tonight, though. I'm gonna have tomorrow. Oh, it's so good. Let me tell you how good that gumbo is, everyone. Just kidding. I don't want to rub it in. Yes, I do. In Fearster. I like that name. Monkey Jeebus.
Monkey Jeebus.
Mr. Tickle Trunk, thank you so much for that. And thank you for being here.
Yeah, and thank you for the super chat.
Thank you very much.
Thank everyone for the super chat.
Absolutely. Just thank you. I'm just glad you're all. Thank you all for being here. JPRPH, John, thank you.
Yeah. Night, John.
Keely Chow, Roll Tide. Keely Chow, thank you.
Night,
and
Keely.
Last but never least, the great Canadian Spider-Man who does whatever a Canadian spider can.
Oh, and since we're ending on a Canadian note, I just want to say happy Thanksgiving weekend to all of the Canadians. I'm sending my love to you all, and have a wonderful time with your families. And if you don't have a family around you, just know that I'm sending you warm thoughts and warm regards for Thanksgiving.
Absolutely. Happy Thanksgiving, Canada. And we love our Canadian friends. Appreciate you so much. Now, and of course, for those here, you get to see this wonderful intro, extro, ending, outro. I'm just so used to saying outro. But made by my wonderful first officer, Commander R.M. Briggs. It is wonderful with a little assist to get it here by the great Mark D with the C. So I love this. I never can get enough of this intro outro. If you've never seen it, I hope you enjoy it. And I'll be here Monday night. But if you're just in it for the trek, that's cool too. We will be here 1 week from tonight to review 4 more episodes. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your night.